you are live. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your pot. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. It is so important. One more time. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in this morning on another Thursday morning. How you doing? Happy Thursday. Welcome in. Welcome. Come on in. We got a lot to discuss. Very excited morning. Double tap the screen. Relax and talk sports. First part every morning, every podcast, first person in the chat get shouted out. And typically is Ozzy or Relax and talk sports. What's up with you, my boy? What's up with you, man? We back in the building one more time, man. Back at him, man. Thursday morning. You know, Thursdays is hot like fire. You know what I'm saying? Thursdays is hot, man. I don't know what it is about Thursday. You know, Thursday, when I was a kid, Thursday was ladies' night. You know what I'm saying? Thursday was a night for ladies. That's the weekend was start. That was the 80s. You know what I'm saying? All they did was party, man. It was a party train. Don't miss that train. Don't miss that party train. You know what I'm saying? Thursdays kicked it off, man. Ladies' night, man. But I remember going to the 30 plus many a Thursdays, man. As a young little one, I wasn't 30 yet, but I was still up in the 30 plus, man. I was up in the 30 plus doing too much, right? You know what I'm saying? Thursday night, man. When today is Thursday morning. And we still back at them with that Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Number one podcast in the land. My name is Perfect Station. Yo, you know what? I came on. I knew I missed something. I forgot something, man. I knew I forgot. I mean, I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I got the nappy, but I'm like, man, I take it. I'm looking like Sealy for a minute. I'm supposed to look like Sealy, but not full Sealy. I'm supposed to look like Sealy mixed with Harpo. Harpo and Sealy mixed together and a little bit of Sugar Avery. You know what I'm saying? A little Sealy, a little Sugar Avery. There go that Sugar Avery. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to do this. Let them know you got a little good jeans. Good jeans. There you go. A little Sugar Avery, man. Why? Relax and talk sports, man. What you doing, man? You supposed to let me know, man. Like what's up with the Sealy? What's up with the Sealy? It's a color purple going on. It's a color purple. My goodness gracious, how's everybody doing Thursday morning? Double tap the like button as you come in. Double tap, like, share, subscribe as you come in. My name is Perfect. We're going to get to the station identification in a minute. We just doing the intro. Perfect forgot to do his hair, man. I put the cream. What's up with your old glory, man? Second like, man. What's up with your old glory, man? Not enough likes. Go ahead, double tap, hit the like button as y'all come in, man. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Double tap, hit the like button. We got a lot to talk about. Exciting content today. You know, I talked a lot with my wife last night. Some of this stuff is getting, I'm getting kind of concerned. So I was concerned enough to talk to my wife and my loved ones. I know my moderators are concerned for me. I don't mean to get choked up, but, a lot of things been happening. And typically I follow Candace, right? We watch Candace. We react to Candace. There's a lot of reactionary channels on YouTube. Give me a second, y'all get a little choked up. But I typically react to Candace. You guys know this. We watch your podcast and we react to it. Sometimes we hit on similar notes. Yesterday, there wasn't much to react to, so I went off on a tangent and I talked about how I felt like we talked about Discord. Remember, I said I probably won't do a Discord because I don't like the type of things that happen on the Signal app and on Discord. And I said, I flew it out before Candace went live. Before Candace went live, we talked about it here. I said, and we talked about it more than once, that I probably won't do a Discord after the Charlie Kirk event because I said I believe there is a connection between all these events, and I believe that somehow it's happening in Discord and the dark web. What did they say about now? Candace Owens revealed. I've been talking about yesterday before Candace Owens went live. We went into detail about the Donald Trump we went into detail about all three because I talked about the climate. This is why I got choked up. I didn't know Candace Owens had took her kids out of school. I didn't know Candace Owens had doubled her security. I just knew yesterday I had a feeling the same way Candace Owens had a feeling. And I said to my audience, now my members and my moderators will agree with me because we've been talking about this for a week. Candace Owens admitted, I'm going to play the video. Candace Owens admitted yesterday that she thinks it's a sale, right? Because we had Joshua Jan in Texas. If you look at my thumbnail, you're going to see similarities. Remember yesterday, before Candace Owens went live, we talked about how the left was radicalizing the left, right? We gave details, we gave receipts at radicalizing statements. I went into detail about Project 2025. Today, I have more receipts. I went into AI and I did my research. I said, give me the actual links and the quotes and the videos from 2024 from liberal Democratic pundits who tried to use fear. It was amazing what you come up with AI. You don't have any right-wing people reading Project 2025, but I found 10 or 20 liberal Democrats reading Project 2025 and on X, on CNN, associating Project 2025 with neo-Nazism, with imperialism and fear-mongering. Imagine if you love America and everyone is telling you that an emperor is coming, a king is coming, you will lose your rights. This is how the left got radicalized just 6 months ago. We talk about 2024 as if it was 24 years ago. 2024 was not 24 years ago. So just a matter of days ago, the Democrats were in a frenzy because Kamala Harris was the worst candidate they had seen in 20 years. So all they had was to spookify, to horrify, and to scare you into voting Democrat. One of the major tactics that they used was this ominous 2025. I argue it was always fear-mongering, and it radicalized some young men like on my thumbnail. Young people, there was a problem with 2024 and that previous administration because there were a lot of young white men who felt disenfranchised. Thank you, Donald Trump, for getting rid of Title IX. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for encouraging young white men to go back to church, to get back in a relationship with God. I don't know why that is a bad thing because I don't want any more school shootings. I don't want any more lonely, radicalized leftists left alone in their bedroom with their single parent mom who couldn't make it work with their dad. So now they're upset boys without male leadership and guidance. They could get that male leadership and guidance in church. Do you know there's a good church right next to you? A lot of you single white moms, you got young white men at home and you don't know what to do because they have exhibited certain qualities. Take them to church. Take them to church. I'm so sad that Charlie Kirk isn't here anymore because I would say to you, take them to see Charlie Kirk. See, the algorithm don't like that. The algorithm don't like. I think the algorithm. I told you, the algorithm. Chicago, they like Democrats. They like death. They benefit from death. I can't say the algorithm won't. You got to say it in the chat for me because I don't think the algorithm likes young white men. They want us to hate young white men. But see, I'm saying this because I want the same thing for all men in America. See, Title IX wasn't on one specific group of men. The ideology that existed on college campuses didn't affect just one ethnic group of men. It affected all young American boys. See, Title IX, toxic masculinity, made created my thumbnail. Can I say that? I don't know if that's okay to say, but I'm saying that Title IX, feminism, and the ideology on college campuses led to my thumbnail, to where you have young men stuck and trapped in their houses, right? Online on dark chats, being radicalized and committing acts of violence before they're old enough to understand. Can we have a real talk this morning? Let me introduce myself. Back at it like a crack addict, automatic like a foamatic, built from tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2025 won't last, so we're going to get this done real fast. My name is Perfect. You are watching Top of the Mid-Morning Podcast from an OG perspective. I got 116 people watching and 6 likes. I need everybody watching right now. It's free. It's very simple. Double tap the screen. That's how you like the podcast. Get the podcast popularized so we can broaden the conversation and more people can learn to disagree and we can have a vigorous debate. Everybody watching, all 100 of you watching. We had 1,000 people in the chat. We're going to have another 1,000 today. The way we get there is you double tap and you hit the like button. If you're watching on a cell phone, on your top right hand corner, there's 3 dots called an ellipses. Hit those 3 dots. It gives you options. We give you options. They don't. You can double tap and hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Perfect Timing Podcast, top of the mid-morning from an OG perspective. Thank you for all the thumbs up in the chat. As you come in the chat, you know what we like to do. I want you to spread some unity and love, because I think we need some unity and love. I would go into some other stuff, but the algorithm won't let me. But I see people already spreading that love and that energy in the chat. Thank you to everyone spreading that positive energy. And anybody who wants to debate, anybody who wants to disagree, this is the place. This is the most intellectual forum on YouTube. This is your one opportunity to discuss this issue in an intellectual space where people could disagree and agree. This is why America is so great. This is why YouTube is so great. That's why we're having this conversation today. If you see the thumbnail, I did my research on the thumbnail. MAGA, 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 Mega MAGA Monday, Mega MAGA Tuesday, Wednesday. Today is hot like fire Thursday. Hot Thursdays coming up. Professor, how you doing, man? I love you all just like you. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Double tap, hit the like button. We need over 100 likes 5 minutes ago. Ozzy Kazi with the rich of destruction. That's my brother right there. Thank you for coming in and moderating, bro. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much. We having a good talk this morning. I tell you, Ozzy, man, oh glory. Oh, glory. That's another one of my brothers, my family right there. I had a talk with my wife last night because typically we follow Candace Owens. Candace Owens is on the cutting edge, right? She's been doing her thing and we've been reacting to her content and we've been supporting her. So I didn't know Candace Owens. I mean, we're going to talk about her podcast yesterday. And the fact that Candace Owens mimicked my content for the first time. I know you guys who follow me have been seeing the numbers. Ozzy, you've been seeing the numbers. The numbers have been going crazy. Some people might think the numbers are going crazy because we're talking about Charlie Kirk. I don't think so. I think the numbers are going crazy because we're bringing forth a truth. And that, I think that was evident yesterday when Candace Owens mimicked our conversation, because Ozzy, oh glory, all of us were a part of this conversation. Do you guys know this is a live stream? This is why I urge people to join the channel, not just subscribe, but join the channel so you can feel a part of the conversation. Those of us who were here yesterday, who heard and that were part of the discussion, as we discuss the connections, now you see my thumbnail today. You see all of the shooters. Remember, we talked about the shooter who shot Donald Trump. We talked about the 3 assassinations. We got Luigi up there. We got Thomas. What's the individual name who shot the president? We got everybody up there. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what we got Joshua Jan. Someone's trying to stop the podcast. There's nothing wrong with my internet service. There's nothing who watched it. There's nothing wrong with my internet service. There's nothing wrong with my internet service. I got good internet. The bill is paid. Nothing's wrong with my internet service. It's just We back. How you guys doing? Oh man, I need you guys. Since it's only 30 people here, can I ask for some prayer? You know, you're not supposed to talk about prayer. They hate on me. I can't. I need to pray. This is real life thing. Like simply having a discussion. The discussion has barely started. There are some people who have been so hurt emotionally that they have an inability to have the discussion. And we just have ignored, and I don't know what to do. I'm 50 years old. I'm 50 years old. You know what's a big part of this conversation? We're not gonna rush. We're gonna see what happens and see if the trolls keep coming back and flagging the channel. I want to say thank you to YouTube for protecting the live stream. Thank you to YouTube for protecting the live stream. And now the trolls reveal themselves. So first they try to flag down the live stream, and then they want to come into the chat and participate. I want my moderators and my members to be ruthless today. Shout out to Steven Crowder. I do not have any quarter with any trolls today. We are not having any. Shout out to Steven Crowder. Let them know we will not accept any quarter today. Anybody trolling, anybody, if you want to write a paragraph, put it in the super chat. Thank you, Mrs. Perfect Timing. We have a goal of 15 super chats every day. That's super chat number 1. We are not being, we don't have any quarter today for trolls, because we like I said yesterday, can somebody get White Girl Magic? Mr. Bolsky, can you block White Girl Magic forever? And I'm asking Ozzy Osby and Mr. Bolsky, I need soldiers today, because that White Girl Magic account is the account that was flagging us. The reason why the stream went down as it began to go up is because of that account. What has happened to Charlie Kirk? Well, I can't, I don't even want to say it, but do you guys see, I want my Miss Per Time, my wife, do you guys see what is really happening? Do you know there was a shooting in Sacramento? I live in Sacramento. For some, because people might say I don't need to be concerned. I'm concerned for my health. I'm concerned for my life. I live in prayer, put it in God's hands. But there are sick people, bro. You know how much time it takes to create a fake account. You got to understand, this person created a fake account. You got to understand, this person listened to my podcast yesterday when we were talking and making jokes. This is someone who is a sick person who is paying close attention for the wrong reason. Think about what I'm saying. They listened to the podcast yesterday. They created a fake account. Then they came in and tried to bomb the podcast, bring it down by flagging it. Then when they don't get their goal, like they tried to assassinate Trump 3 times. Do you guys understand what's happening to people like me and Candace Owens have to pull her children out of school? This is not a fake conversation, because it just happened in real life. Everything we're about to talk about today, I start the podcast off by saying love, unity, I welcome disagreement. And immediately someone, sniper, tries to snipe me. A real life sniper just tried to snipe me. This is not a joke. I know they think it's funny. I know the people think they laughed at Charlie Kirk. If for anybody thinking that I'm overreacting, they laughed at Charlie Kirk when his children was right there. His wife was right there. They laughed. They laughed and danced at Charlie Kirk's death. You must understand what is happening. The name of that account was based on the joke that we told at the end of a live stream that was over 2 hours. Think about this. That account was based on a joke that we told just the members and the moderators. It was less than 100 people here. We have 1,000 people watching us every day, participating. At the end of yesterday's live stream, we had a little bit of fun. Grown man, I'm 50 years old. We had a little bit of fun. We told a little joke. That means that person watched that live stream for the entire 2 hours and extrapolated that, created a fake account, came in and this morning had a mind, just like Joshua Jan. You got to understand the times that we're living in. I said MAGA knows the climate. climate. This today is about Candace Owens doing my content because I have been saying MAGA knew the climate. And when I qualified the statement that MAGA understands the climate that we're in, I went back to the Donald Trump assassination attempt where he got shot. I said, put fight, fight, fight in the chat. Who recalls what I said yesterday? They don't make an account based on those truths. They make an account based on the joke. But remember when I said, when I qualified my statement, I said that we're going back. I said, I'm an old man. I'm going to build the foundation for my argument. Then, like, argument out of me. Typically, I repeat Candace Owens. Yesterday, Candace Owens repeated me. Typically, I repeat Candace Owens. Yesterday, Candace Owens repeated you. Lexington Talk Sports. I talk sports. Candace Owens heard your conversation that we've been having here. That I said this is leftist. Remember, we had a talk, brothers, and I said, do you want to do a Discord? I said to my brothers, I don't think I'm going to do a Discord. I don't think I'm going to do a Discord. Shout out to Candace Owens and the Candace Owens. Somebody like this and share this and tag it Candace Owens so that she can watch this and her audience can watch this. I said to my brothers, I don't think I'm going to do a Discord. This thumbnail and this title today, you know when we're doing good, you guys. You know when we're doing good because I don't know the way YouTube is designed and trolls can. I love YouTube, but I don't understand this part of YouTube. I do not understand this part of YouTube. There is somebody with a very sick mind laughing right now. There is somebody with a very sick mind laughing right now. I don't know what to do, bro. I'm a human. I mean, I may have reacted differently before Charlie Kirk's murder, but today, did you guys know there was a shooting in Sacramento? What if Candace Owens is right? What if Candace Owens is right? Thank you. What if Candace Owens is right? What if we were right? You have Dallas, you have Utah, you have California. I think I'm worried, man. I'm worried. In a matter of weeks, we have multiple shooters on roofs with high-powered rifles, and all of these people are under the age of 25 years old. I don't understand. In multiple shooters under the age of 25, high-powered rifles. The shooter who shot Donald Trump, high-powered rifle. The shooter who shot Charlie Kirk, high-powered rifle. The shooter in Dallas, ICE, high-powered rifle. All these shooters from a roof, all of these shooters in their early 20s. All of them radicalized leftists. And then Sacramento, thank you, Mrs. Perfect Timing, for the super chat. She know I needed that support. She could hear my voice. This is hard, baby. This is hard, baby. Candace hasn't gone off the rails. Candace is right. Candace is correct. And there, you don't even know. Let me read to you what happened in Sacramento. You don't know what's going on. You want to argue and you don't want to protect my life. I want to live. I want to live. While you want to troll and make a joke, Charlie Kirk is gone. I want to live. By the time you guys figure out what's going on, there will be more death. I want to live. I want to live for my family. I don't know what's so funny. I don't know what is the joke. What's the gag? What's the gag, troll? What's It's not the Wi-Fi. It's not the Wi-Fi. It's not the Wi-Fi. It's not the Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's not the Wi-Fi. I can't be mad at YouTube because I'm allowed to be live. You know, remember what I said about Jimmy Kimmel? I can't be mad at YouTube because YouTube allow me to keep the live stream. So it's not YouTube. It's not YouTube, and it's not YouTube, and it's not the Wi-Fi. Thank you, everybody. Double tap, hit the like button. I think the more likes we get, that'll help us get past. We it's like the Van Allen belt, you know, when they talk about going to the moon and you got to get out of the atmosphere, and it's this level that you really can't get past. So it's like becoming a celebrity, becoming an influencer. It's like you reach that Van Allen belt where you hit a ceiling where you can't get past, and the only thing that gets you past that point is the support of the people who want you to be there. Right. I'm so thankful for my members. I remember me and Mrs. Perfect Timing were talking about this. I didn't think I would have members. I didn't think I would have subscribers, but what I'm so grateful for is that the audience that has been provided for me, and y'all know I want you guys to know I take this seriously. I take this very seriously. Um, Before we got cut off, I was qualifying my concern. You know, I've been concerned about the content I've been creating. I spoke to my wife about it last night, and she said, "Did you know there was a shooting in Sacramento?" And I said, "I did not know that." And she said, "Someone shot into the ABC office after Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air." I'm like, wow, why wouldn't they report that about how much, because I'm online every day fighting that there are radicalized liberals committing violence like no other time. I said that this is a unique time that we're living in. And I believe Candace Owens, she followed my statements. Now, if you think about this, Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air. It wasn't censorship, but the left want to tell you that Jimmy Kimmel violating community guidelines is censorship. It wasn't. Jimmy Kimmel has to follow laws and rules and regulations of the FCC. But beyond that, the affiliates who have advertisers, just like what happened with Bud Light and Target, the affiliates have to answer to the advertisers. So now Jimmy Kimmel had to pay for offending affiliates and advertisers because his show already was just like Colbert had horrible ratings and was losing money. Then he offended more advertisers and affiliates. So they said it's not worth the money to platform Jimmy Kimmel and violate our brand. I read that yesterday. But interpretation, this is what we're talking about, leftist radicalization. I very sensibly put forth an argument that said that Jimmy Kimmel was not First Amendment. That Jimmy Kimmel, number one, paramountly, I used an example of Louis C.K. This, I'm an old guy. A lot of people in the chat, and y'all might be surprised that I'm a fan of people like Steven Crowder. I hope everybody listening. I know my members is listening. I know Lazy Bones, Ozzy Cosby. Lazy Bones already said, "You be my best friend." I know my white brothers in the chat who are not racist already know a black man like me. Probably best friends with a black man like me. So when I tell you I love Charlie Kirk, there's certain things I say where you can say, you know what? He's telling the truth. He did love Charlie Kirk because only certain black men are going to know who Louis C.K. is, and only certain black men watched and know this story that I'm going to share with you about the Louis C.K. show, because I love that show. I love him, one of my favorite comedians. Louis C.K. had a show. He got his show canceled, like Jimmy Kimmel. I'm qualifying my statement so we can get to the radical who shot in the ABC office on false pretenses based on what leftists are telling everybody on the media. Leftists are telling everybody on the media that Jimmy Kimball's First Amendment right was violated, but it wasn't. Now let me make my argument. Louis C.K. got his show canceled on HBO or Showtime. It was a great show. You know what Louis C.K. did? He went and filmed his show because they didn't take his voice. They didn't stop his ability for him making the show. They just didn't put it on HBO anymore. So Louis C.K. said, I'm going to make the show anyway. I'm going to pay for it myself, pay the actors, pay the cameraman, and I'm going to give it away to the audience for free. Because I'm in America and I have freedom of speech. I'm just not going to get paid for it, right? So Louis C.K., Jimmy Kimmel could have put his show out on YouTube for free. Think about it. If Jimmy Kimmel was so politically inclined, he already worth $100 million. Somebody do the research. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to mess up the live stream. Somebody do the research right now. How much is Jimmy Kimmel worth? I'm going to tell you right now, Jimmy Kimmel was worth a lot more than Louis C.K. was worth when Louis C.K. did what I'm saying. Louis C.K. spent the money himself, recorded the TV show, put it out for free. You can't go on TV and lie and spread division. Thank you, oh glory. Louis C.K. got fired from HBO Showtime. He didn't give up. He recorded the show, put it out for free. Do you know Jimmy Kimmel had the right? He owned the show to record the show and put the show out for free on YouTube. What did Tucker Carlson do? Can we have a real talk? No, he not. What did Tucker Carlson do? Tucker Carlson got canceled. What did he do? What did Bill O'Reilly do? Did Bill O'Reilly cry about First Amendment? Megyn Kelly. Did Megyn Kelly cry? Megyn Kelly's on YouTube getting guac, getting to it. Got a better audience, more viewership than she had on Fox. Tucker Carlson is on YouTube getting to it, getting guac, got better viewership. Jimmy Kimmel could have done the same thing that these Republican MAGA conservatives did. Instead, he cried, and now someone shot up ABC because Jimmy Kimmel was a crybaby and a liar about the freedom of speech. But so tell me why Tucker Carlson wasn't crying. Why did Tucker Carlson create a business on YouTube? Huh? Tell me about it. Why did Jimmy Kimmel and Democrats want violence? So Jimmy Kimmel and the Democrats go crying on every talk show about Donald Trump and First Amendment rights, and someone shoots into ABC in Sacramento. There is a result of their rhetoric. There is results, and the results are violent. And look at what's happening to me today. We're supposed to be at 1,000 viewers. We can't get the podcast going. We don't have 100 likes. Double tap it to like. And it's because of this leftist radicalization, the hypnosis that Kamala Harris talked about in her book, Hypnotized Minds. But it's beyond hypnosis because they have been activated. Think about MK Ultra, like Candace Owens was talking about. First, it's the hypnosis, but then there's the activation. Remember, you hear a sound and you go back into the hypnosis and you go do the act. Remember from Scooby-Doo, remember from those TV shows, you get hypnotized, right? And then you go back to your normal everyday life. Then all of a sudden you hear some sound and you go back into the hypnosis, and then you go back into this liberal maniac, and then you go commit acts of violence, flag down channels, make jokes about death. No, we chilling. I'm gonna put you in the house. Chill out. I'm drunk on the Kool-Aid. Did you know there was a shooting at ABC in Sacramento? Did you know? See, you probably one of the people who celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. See, we just see the Democrats and the liberals who run the media, they skip past the Trump assassination, 3 assassination attempts. Trump got shot in the ear. Me and MAGA and I knew the climate. MAGA and I already knew the climate. We knew the climate because we saw 3 assassination attempts and nothing was done by the Biden administration. Can we have a real talk this morning? 3 assassinations attempts on the president, and the Biden administration just sat by as if like, damn, y'all missed. It was almost like, remember what they said about Young Thug? When Young Thug got on the phone and said, y'all didn't do nothing yet. It was like Biden was saying, y'all missed, try again. Y'all missed, try again. Because Biden did not increase security. Remember, there was 1 assassination attempt, and then the assassination attempt where Trump was shot was actually the 2nd attempt. You know, they could have increased security, but you know what they did? They allowed temporary employees to guard Trump. They allowed temporary employees to guard Trump, and someone was killed that day. and Trump got shot in the ear. And then later, someone was allowed to sit and lay with a high-powered rifle outside of a golf course for over 5 hours. When we later learned about the guy who was sitting in the golf course for 5 hours, we learned that he was radicalized on the political left, and he had all this crazy literature, all these crazy videos, like all of the other guys who are sitting on rooftops with rifles and high-powered weapons and doing this damage over and over and over. The question I have this morning is, how long you gonna believe? What would it take? How long you gonna believe? Look at my thumbnail. Yesterday we talked about the similarities, and a lot of white people got upset. I don't talk about racism. I'm not talking about white men. But yesterday when I said that we have white men, radicalized left white men, and there is a profile that is appearing, people got upset. Y'all could love me when I talk truth about anything else, but if I say something true about white men, y'all get upset. I know why I'm getting trolled this morning, because everybody looking at that thumbnail see all these white men, and white men can't deal with it. I'm tired of it, bro. I'm not the one creating the profile, but this is white men. There is a specific profile, white men of a certain age, of a certain political left-leaning agenda. And there's a style. We got to keep all of these things in line. That's what Candace Owens was saying. And what I said before Candace Owens went live is, I'm not going to go on Discord. Tora Lover said, as a white man, I agree. I said, I'm not going on Discord. D. Walk Cooley said, all white men do this. I said, this is what I said. I'm repeating with Steven Crowder. Because like I've talked about Louis C.K., only certain black men watch Steven Crowder. The reason I liked Charlie Kirk is because I do like Louis C.K., and I do like Steven Crowder. And I knew Charlie Kirk was just doing Steven Crowder all over again. So what I'm saying is, like Steven Crowder said, we have to understand that a profile has been emerging. And Steven Crowder said we got to start protecting ourselves and stop being wusses, right? And admit the truth. If you don't want to get shot and hurt and you want to be here for your family, you need to admit that there is a profile, not a generalization by some troll in the chat who has a small penis and who is sensitive and has penis envy. I'm talking about FBI profiling that all of these men happen to be white, of a certain age and a certain political ideology. And if you want to protect Steven Crowder, then you will admit that there is a profile. Hello? Hello? I'm retarded, brother. I just didn't hear anything. I know you don't care about Steven Crowder. You don't even know about the Mug Club. You're just here joking. You don't care. You've never even seen Louis C.K. I'm whiter than you. I'm whiter than you. That's the problem with a lot of you clowns. I'm whiter than you. You don't even know who Steven Crowder is. You never seen the Louis C.K. show. I'm whiter than you. I don't want Steven Crowder to get hurt. I like Louder with Crowder. I know that Charlie Kirk built his stitch off of Steven Crowder, and Steven Crowder is a lot better. Have you ever seen Steven Crowder do the debate? He said he stopped doing it because they tried to kill him 12 times. Steven Crowder said he stopped doing that platform because they tried to kill him 12 times. But Steven Crowder is a comedian. Louder with Crowder is hilarious. If you've ever seen him do a debate, Charlie Crowder tried to do him, but Steven Crowder was hilarious, like Louis C.K. And if you knew these things, if you were politically advantageous, if you knew about Blexit, you would know where some of these talking points come from. You would know Candace Owens is a young person. Charlie Kirk could have been my son. So they didn't create these talking points. I was just very proud of Candace Owens. I was very proud of Charlie Kirk. And I was let down by all the ignorant, idiot fools, black and white, when Charlie Kirk passed away. And that's why I've been so possessed about this content. I'm getting choked up. Candace Owens is possessed about this content because Charlie Kirk is her friend. I'm possessed about this content because all of the idiots who trying to make money and lie about who Charlie Kirk was, who never even watched a full debate. It got me. And people are getting hurt because all of you idiots online who never even watch, you never even cared. Do you know they just took away Alex Jones' channel? Steven Crowder is not on YouTube. Do you know they hide these people? White men are not allowed to have these type of opinions. White men were not allowed to have this type of opinion during the last administration. They were kicked off of every platform. That's why Rumble was created. Steven Crowder got to be on Rumble. Alex Jones got to be on Rumble. Russell Brand got to be on Rumble. Do you know the voice of white men who say these things are not allowed? They hid Charlie Kirk. And you want to get on YouTube and act like you know who he is and you listen to him. Charlie Kirk was an amazing man. Thank you, Debbie. But let's be honest. Don't they hide that white male voice, the white male conservative Republican voice? They call it racist. They call it terror. They do it neo-Nazi, alt-right, all these new poisonous words. You don't get to watch Steven Crowder. You don't get to watch Andrew Tate. It's all got canceled. This is what made me so upset about Charlie Kirk, because all of these liars came online saying Charlie Kirk is this and that, as if Charlie Kirk was someone who was allowed to be platformed. Turning Point and Charlie Kirk was in the background because of liberals been running the show. The liberals made Charlie Kirk sit in the back. Steven Crowder sit in the back. Alex Jones sit in. Did you guys forget that? Did you guys forget that? Are you being a jerk, Clarice? I watch Charlie Kirk every day from 12 to 2. Don't be a jerk. I'm making a point. They hide that voice. That voice is not readily found. You have to go look for that voice. You have to go look for Steven Crowder. You have to go look for Russell Brand. You have to go look for Alex Jones. You had to go look for Charlie Kirk. If we're being honest, don't tell me you watch it every day. I don't want to hear that stupid shit right now. Asshole, I'm making a point. They hide that voice. So when after Charlie Kirk's murder and death, when all of you came out and acted like you heard Charlie Kirk and you watched Charlie Kirk, that's a damn lie. That is a damn lie. Because unless you follow that type of content, it's not coming up on your feed. They hide it. I never heard of him until he died. Thank you. Alex Jones got deplatformed again. And before Elon Musk bought Twitter, all of these voices were gone. Nick Fuentes, all of them, before Elon Musk bought. Why don't anybody be honest about the real life we're living in? Someone shot into ABC. It wasn't just Jimmy Kimmel who lied and whined like a baby. Jimmy Kimmel lied about First Amendment. Jimmy Kimmel lied about Trump. Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he violated FCC regulations and he affected the money like Target. They lost $3 billion. Can I get $3 billion in the chat? Can I get $3 billion? Who got $3 billion for Jimmy Kimmel? No one got it. That's why he got fired. Who got $3 billion? Look, can we talk about the MAGA dollar? I want to talk about the MAGA dollar because there's so many trolls, there's so many player haters that MAGA don't get to celebrate today. How many times did they try to snipe our live stream? How many times did they try to snipe our... Look how hard my moderators is working in the chat. I want to talk about the MAGA dollar and how strong the MAGA dollar is. They lost $3 billion. It's not coming back. Jimmy Kimmel tried to say, go subscribe to Disney Plus. It's not coming back. The MAGA dollar, and we're not watching. You're going to make me delete Disney Plus. You're going to make me delete Disney Plus. We're not watching, Jimmy Kimmel. We're not watching. Just like we stopped going to Target. We stopped drinking Bud Light. And what did Bud Light do? Bud Light changed its campaign. What did Target do? Target took that LGBTQ stuff out of the store. Target lost $100 million. We stopped going to Cracker Barrel. What did Cracker Barrel do? People in the chat who are new here, you don't understand. I'm not just a black guy in the backyard talking to a cell phone. I am educating people on facts a lot of you don't even care about. You just dummies on YouTube scrolling with your finger. You found somebody talking and you heard something that you never heard before, so you want to make a comment. But I am telling you the absolute truth. The MAGA dollar is strong. MAGA dollar. See, you heard different stories. Let me link. See, this is what's going on today with the different shooters on my thumbnail. See, you heard about Cracker Barrel isolated, right? They don't tell you, they don't link Cracker Barrel to Bud Light. You hear about Bud Light isolated. They don't link Bud Light to Target, right? You hear about Target target isolated. You don't never hear about them in concert. I said yesterday, a concert of events. You never hear about this talked about as the MAGA Republicans working together, pulling their dollars to get effective change in the marketplace. I'm going to say that again. You never hear that as MAGA Republicans working together to pull their dollars to get effective change in the marketplace. And you want to troll, and you want to troll and flag. You don't got no other live stream like this. You don't know black, white, purple, green, or brown. No one is spitting facts like this on a political level. Nobody. That's why I get flagged. That's why I get trolled. MAGA dollars pooling together. Just my syntax, my vocabulary. That's why I got 1,000 people watching. That's why I got all the views and super chats and members. No one is able to pull it together. And thank you, Candace Owens, for listening and following the leader. Thank you, Candace Owens, for listening and following the leader. Double tap and like. So when I bring to you an argument and I say all of these in conjunction in MAGA dollars pooled together, and I educate you and I say, vote with your dollar, vote with your dollar, vote with your dollar. Your dollar is political. Your dollar is political. The MAGA dollar is strong. Then that is laying a foundation. That is laying a foundation for my similar argument that Candace Owens borrowed yesterday when I say they want you to look at Luigi Maggiano as an isolated incident. They want you to look at Tyler Robinson as an isolated incident, even though they all happen so quickly together. Similarity, all these profile markers are going off of your head. Your logic is hitting and booming, but they say, no, this is an isolated. Target is over here. Bud Light is over here. Cracker Barrel is over here. They don't want you to understand the power of your dollar and the effects that you can pull and make change in the marketplace. They want to say, no, this Tyler Robinson shooting is over here. No, this Dallas ICE shooting is over here. No, the shooting in Sacramento, ABC, is over here. And nobody's worried. Nobody's worried. All these shootings occurring, all these high-powered rifles, everybody, sniper shootings, multiple snipers. In 2025, we're dealing with snipers. And they're not Muslim. Now think about that. $10. Here's some MAGA dollars. Shout out to you, Blue Whales. Thank you for the super chat. We have a goal of 15 super chats every day. We're at number 3. Y'all got to step it up on the super chats. We're real behind, and we need 100 likes. You need to step it up on the likes. I didn't work hard today. Misdirection. Go ahead and expand on that. When I make the argument and I link Target, Bud Light, and Cracker Barrel, you understand, right? So when I and Candace make the argument that they are purposely siloing these shootings, they are purposely siloing the shootings, even though your logic sees similarities. They're all white men. They're all young 20-year-old white men. They're all using high-powered rifles of a similar caliber. How could we ignore all of these things? They all seem to be radicalized on the left and recently radicalized because they're so young. Why can't we have a talk about that? Because they're so young, they have been recently I'm 50. I'm worried about what's going on because as you get older, you have the ability to control your emotions. And you say some of the things I believed as a 20-year-old, damn, I was an idiot. Why did I believe that at 20 years old? Thank God I was able to live long enough to find out that I was an idiot at 20. I didn't have enough information to believe that thing as a fact. I grew older, I read more books, I got cultured, I traveled, and I learned the opinions that I had as a 20-year-old was the opinions of a child. I learned the opinions that I had as a 20-year-old was the opinions of a child. And for some reason, we're not unpacking the fact that there are 20-year-old white men who have been recently radicalized. Candace Owens pointed out the fact that a couple of the young men were MAGA Republicans up until 2020. And then during the last administration, they were radicalized with all of the rhetoric. The Project 2025, he's an emperor, he's a king, we have to get him. 36 felonies. That affected a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans believe Trump is a felon. A lot of Americans believe Trump is a PDF. It's a lie. Tish James is being indicted. because of the lawfare. And I want to see Tish James and Fannie Willis go to prison. I want to see Tish James, Adam Schiff, Fannie Willis, James Comey go to prison. And I want James Comey and his efforts with the DNC and the 26th election with Hillary Clinton to be exposed. I want, when I refer to Donna Brazile, when I refer to James Comey, I hope one thing that comes out of his indictment is that Americans are more politically knowledgeable about what happened to the Donald Trump election, what happened with Joe Biden election, the Hunter Biden laptop. Think about Hunter Biden committing all of those crimes in the White House while his father was president and not going to jail, and Joe Biden not having any accountability. It sucks, bro. It absolutely sucks. I wonder how some Democrats control me. Think about what Joe Biden actually did, bro. He hurt the country, bro. And his son did all those crimes, real bad crimes. Bro, Joe Biden and his son was in the Ukraine, stealing, how am I gonna say this? Joe Biden and his son allegedly was in the Ukraine, allegedly up to no good. Y'all heard the phone call of Joe Biden on the phone with his son on the board of directors, getting millions of dollars when he didn't have any experience. You know, just like Maxine Waters paid her daughter millions of dollars. This is what was going on during the last administration, and radicalizing the left in order to keep power. In order to keep power, radicalizing the left. Hunter was on the board of a Ukraine company. You didn't hear that? How many people didn't know? This is what I'm saying. The one thing I pray comes out of the James Comey indictment is that more Americans understand what happened during that election. And right now, see, so much news, the liberal media wants you to be hypnotized. They flood you with stuff. It's my job. My brain is the analytical brain. I know a lot of people like, damn, Bruce Wayne the Great, like, man, you keep all this knowledge in your head? Yeah, I keep all this knowledge in my head. And I recall intimately James Comey and what he did during the election against his own, why he got fired. He wasn't supposed to release the laptop. When he released the laptop, the Hillary Clinton, what was it? What do you call the thing when you, the server, the Hillary Clinton server, where she was, and then that, remember Donald Trump damn near got another RICO because they said that he had documents at Mar-a-Lago. Do y'all remember that? It turns out the Supreme Court, nothing happened. But do y'all remember, you know why MAGA was so upset about the Mar-a-Lago? Because we remember James Comey and Hillary Clinton and what really was a crime and what really was bad, what Hillary did, and Trump brought it up. He said, I didn't do what Hillary did. Yeah, I was president. I got some papers because I was president. But Hillary had a secret fucking server, secret fucking email, and y'all didn't say shit. You didn't say shit. But I'm not supposed to remember that, John. John, we not supposed to remember that, John. We not supposed to remember that, John. I'm spreading lies. I'm spreading lies. See, this is the Democrat hypnosis. Just be honest about you don't remember. You don't know why James Comey is being indicted when MAGA's been waiting. Just this is the problem with America. You don't know who James Comey is, what he did, what his job was, why MAGA has been waiting for years. Can you get it in the chat? Then you're an idiot, Iron Horse. You're a damn dummy. Because MAGA has been waiting for this indictment. Thank you, Wolf. It's embarrassing. You're going to say I'm not a Democrat. What is you, liberal? MAGA has been waiting. We watched James Comey. We saw Hunter drop cocaine in the White House. Iron Horse, whose cocaine was it? Whose cocaine was it? Whose cocaine was it in the White House? I promise you this, you'll never find cocaine in the Trump White House. I can't laugh because I'm holding the phone. They didn't troll me today. But somebody put some laugh emojis in the chat. And get Iron Horse the fuck out of here. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. No more quarter. No more not cussing and using profanity. Fuck Iron Horse and get him the fuck out of here forever. Fuck you. I'll be too nice in this chat. Fuck you, Ironheart. Get the fuck out of here. You ain't no fucking MAGA Republican because you don't fucking know shit. You a fucking troll and a fucking liar. We in MAGA world have been waiting for the Comey fucking indictment. Asshole. Fuck out of here. Who is that? MJ? MJ, get the fuck out of here. MJ, get the fuck out of here. And fuck you. Now, been too nice. Charlie Kirk is dead. Charlie Kirk is dead. They shot in the ABC in Sacramento. I live in Sacramento. Fuck you, get the fuck out of here. Go somewhere else. Go back in your room. Go back in your room and get back on your laptop and do what you do. The fuck out of here. No more being nice. No more not cussing. No more being nice. No more not cussing. I don't give a fuck if you're 12. I don't give a fuck how old you is. Get the fuck out of here. You obviously don't got the brain to understand a black man being intelligent, having vocabulary, and bringing facts. I say at the beginning of every podcast, if you disagree, you are welcome because this is America, the quiet one. You better be on my side or get the fuck out of here. I say every day, if you're welcome to disagree, because I say there's a reason. I have explained there is a reason why we have a two-party system. This is a reason why we're the greatest country in the world. There's a reason why the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are the greatest documents. See, we were leaving a monarchy, and the framers wanted to ensure we never end up with theocratic rule. We're not a theocracy. We're not a monarchy. So they created a two-party system where they created a House and a Senate and a Supreme Court and a president. It's called checks and balances. And we have debate. We have left and right, so that we have two differences of opinion, so that we are not a monarchy. It's a lot of idiots who watch me. Do the dummy, troll, leftist radicals understand? The people who shoot when you don't get a left-wing position, do you understand that's un-American? That is recent. That is from Black Lives Matter. That is from George Soros. That is from Marxists. That is recent. That is Marxist socialism. They want us to be communists. That is recent. That is not American. For you to think that everything is supposed to be Democratic or left-wing is un-American. Americans understand that sometimes the Republicans win, sometimes the Democrats win, sometimes the Democrats have a good idea, sometimes the Republicans have a good idea. We come together, debate. That's why it's called a house. Did anybody understand why it's called a house? No, because you didn't get civics in high school. I'm 50. Do you understand I'm 50 years old? I got civics in high school. I got civics in high school, so I understand why it's called a house. It's called a house so that the Republicans and the Democrats come to an agreement. We're not like the parliament in the UK. They're not supposed to fight and argue and one side wins. The House was created so Democrats and Republicans, like the oversight committee, where Jasmine Crockett is on a committee with Republicans, and Democrats and Republicans have to work together for the best interest of the United States. Do you guys understand how this shit even works? You in the chat trolling. Do you even understand how it even works? The Democrats and the Republicans work together every day, just like me and you, just like when we go to high school. I had bigoted friends. Anybody had a bigot friend? I grew up in America. Everybody don't like black people. Everybody don't like white people. I grew up with some bigoted black people. That's part of America. And just because they don't like me don't mean we can't be friends, fall in love. People disagree and agree to disagree. The Democrats and the Republicans work together on House oversight committees and many other committees. And if they're not able to work together like adults, then like right now, the country about to get shut down. Donald Trump is faced with a decision to close the government. Why? Because every time they can't come to a budget resolution, the government shut down. What did the president say? You guys have to work together. You guys have to work together. You're not in Dennis's chat. You're not an internet troll. You are a congresswoman. You are a congressperson. You have to work together. Both sides of the aisle. How many people have heard this terminology before? Why you troll me and act like damn fucking idiots in my fucking chat, you fucking pieces of shit? How many people understand both sides of the aisle? How many people ever heard both sides of the aisle? See, the framers are the greatest people in the world. They created the best country in the world. We are not a theocracy. They left Europe. They left a king. They left a monarchy. It was a Christian theocracy. When we created America, we did not want to be in a monarchy or a theocracy. You had to be Christian, and you had to pay tithes to the king who was Christian, right? Just like over in Iran and other countries, that's a theocracy. So when we created America, we had religious freedom. Religious freedom. I don't have to be the same religion as the king or I get in trouble. Because when we left the system, we went from a system of a theocracy where you did not have religious freedom. Spanish inquisitions and all that shit. In America, you could be whatever religion. Think about how people are treating Charlie Kirk because he saw a Catholic priest. They forget about religious freedom. They forget about religious freedom. That was part of it, you guys. That was part of it. That's part of what makes America so great. PT, BD, BG, how you doing, brother? I've been getting beat up this morning, but we still fighting. We still fighting. That's why this country is the greatest country. Because they understood when they wrote that document, certain things are self-evident. Certain things are paramount. Certain things are God-given rights. This never had been concept before. It never was a concept that a man was born with certain inalienable rights. The pursuit of happiness. It's the greatest document ever written. It's the greatest document ever written. And all I want to argue this morning is, if you believe everything is supposed to be left, then you don't understand the country. If everything is supposed to be left, then you don't understand how powerful and great those documents are. We're supposed to compromise. We're supposed to work together. And the beautiful thing I would love everybody to understand is the Republicans 5.0, 5.0, 5.0. We understand the necessity for disagreement. MAGA Republicans understand the beauty. We need disagreement. We need the Democrats so that we're not a monarchy. This is what happened in the last administration when they told everybody that you had to become LGBTQ. And in America, you have a right to not like that. I don't have to support their lifestyle. I just don't. I don't have to like black people. I don't have to agree with the LGBTQ ideology. You can't force me. In the last administration, they were forcing Americans into believing in a certain ideology like a religion. And they did not care if that ideology went against your religion. What about that ideology? What if that ideology is not conducive to you going to heaven? All of a sudden, Sky Daddy was invented. All of a sudden, Sky Daddy was invented. And you having faith in God and the sentiments became laughable. Oh, you're homophobic because of Sky Daddy, you're fired, you're canceled. That's what they did. They called it Sky Daddy and told us we couldn't have our faith anymore. No more Christmas, no more Christian. It's Sky Daddy, and laughed at us in our face. Laughed at us in our face. And then tried to tell us that only their ideology would be acceptable. Y'all didn't know, didn't it feel like a theocracy during the last administration? Are you serious? No Xmas? It's like they don't care, bro. They don't care, bro. I don't even care if you believe in Christmas. What my point is that we should have the freedom to believe in Christmas. That's what religious freedom is. That's what religious freedom is. And during the last administration, they took it away. Starbucks, no more Christmas cups. Walmart, no more Merry Christmas at Walmart. And then you see violence. Then you see violence and death skyrocket. People want to kill and shoot in the daytime. Why do you think humans even created the Christ myth or the Christmas story? It helps people be calm. It helps the public. We got to live together. So what if it's a myth? There's a lot of myths. We like Superman. We like Spider-Man. Myths are powerful. Mythology has been used throughout human history for the benefit of the community for a long time. So you take away Christmas, you take away the story, and then all of a sudden the violence in America goes crazy. Oh, Walmart, we can't say Merry Christmas at Walmart. I was like, what? Yeah, they took it all down. Starbucks, can't say Merry Christmas at Starbucks, but it's Merry Christmas. It's a guy in a red suit. It's the Grinch. It's not, he's not, we're not saying hallelujah. Starbucks and Walmart didn't say hallelujah, right? Starbucks and Walmart didn't say hallelujah. They said Merry Christmas. They didn't go into the nativity. Starbucks and Walmart didn't go into Mary and Joseph. They said Merry Christmas like the guy in the red suit so they could sell toys. But that was offensive. That was too much for some people. And we allowed it. We sat back. We sat back. Strong conservative Americans sat back and we said, you know what? That's not freedom of religion. Y'all got all upset. They shot up ABC over Jimmy Kimmel, but we were okay with them saying no more Christmas. No more Christmas. Walmart can't say Merry Christmas. Starbucks can't say Merry Christmas. Starbucks can't have a Merry Christmas cup. You gotta say Happy Holidays. Who did that benefit? And why do we have to correct our language? We're having a talk about Jimmy Kimmel. We're linking all of these connections together. We don't have 100 likes. We need 100 likes. What's going on? We got 147 people. If everybody right now hit the like button, then we'll have our 100 likes. And then we can keep going to 1,000 subscribers. We can keep going to 1,000 viewers. Everybody right now watching, hit the like button. Nobody ever said what? Get him out of here. Soft Watt, Mr. Boski, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Free speech is priceless. Thank you. Get him out of here forever. Clown. He don't got no wife. He ain't ever bought his wife a Starbucks cup that costs $50. My wife got a collection of Starbucks cups that cost $50 each. You know how much money I spent on Starbucks for my wife? I intimately know what I'm talking about. I remember the day when they took off the Christmas, when my wife was upset when she wanted to go get her holiday Christmas cup, when Starbucks changed it. What are you talking about? That's because you don't have a wife. You're a troll. You're a clown. One of those people who want to have a woman in his life, but don't have a woman in his life. And the things you say in the chat is why you don't have a woman in your life. But those of us who are married with children, who have daughters, who go to Starbucks and spend up all of our credit card money at Starbucks, go shopping and swipe the credit card at Walmart. I remember intimately when Walmart took down the Christmas sign. I remember intimately when Starbucks took down the Christmas cup. If he gets a wife, I'll send my brother to take her. You understand what I'm saying? Those of us who have women who buy Starbucks, you love your wife. Relax, talks. I know you love your wife. You love your wife, you buy her some Starbucks. You love your wife. I mean, come on, man. So let's get back to the rest of today's topic. Today's topic, if you look at the thumbnail, what we were talking about, orchestrated chaos. There's a lone wolf narrative that's been applied to every single shooter that you see in my thumbnail. Big B, is that coffee, or are you in Utah? Is that like soda? I remember recently I saw a thing where in Utah they have soda because they don't do coffee. But today's topic is about orchestrated chaos versus the lone wolf theory. And I love the fact that we were able to talk about the MAGA dollar and how they siloed the conversation about the effects of the MAGA dollar, because you didn't hear about those companies changing their policy together. They have you talk about Cracker Barrel over here, you talk about Bud Light over here, you talk about Target over here, but never together. They never give props to the MAGA for doing what the Democrats don't do. This is why Gavin Newsom had Charlie Kirk on his podcast. MAGA working together, pooling dollars, making effective change in the marketplace. So if I can link those events, I have questions about this lone wolf theory. Lone wolf, lone bullet. Think about this. We have a lone wolf, lone bullet theory. I'm questioning that. I have a question this morning. I've presented to you facts and data. I have a thumbnail, and I know this today's talk is very triggering. I mean, we get reactions, we have great conversations, but today has been like a day. Like I talked to my wife last night about the political climate, but today we have seen I have gotten attacked. I have seriously gotten attacked today. How can you argue that this is not orchestrated chaos? One of my members and moderators said that you can tell that it's a bot attack because they all leave and all come at a certain time. You know, I know half of the people is bots because we don't have 100 likes. I need everybody to prove to me that you're not a bot right now. Hit the like button. See how 30 people left? They bots. They bringing in the bots. If they are coordinating an attack on a small YouTuber like me, and it's true, our conversation is influential. Look at Candace Owens repeating the things that we said. If they are coordinating an attack on a small YouTuber like me, why do you think the coordination has stopped? So I'm saying to you, if you look at my thumbnail, what I've said is Candace Owens, I got a video upstairs. Candace Owens, there was a question from the chat, and somebody asked Candace Owens, what do you think? Candace Owens said, I think it's a sale. I was like, Candace Owens been watching this, you guys. Because I told my brothers, I said, because there are a lot of people say, you should get a Discord. You should get a Discord. Because I got a lot of members, a lot of subscribers. You should get a Discord. And I'm like, when this first happened, I said, I don't think I'm going to get a Discord. I said, I think that these attacks are all linked. I think these guys are all being radicalized on the dark web in places like Discord. And we know for a fact that Tyler Robinson was on Discord. Tyler Robinson was on Discord. A lot of these guys in my thumbnail were on Discord, on the dark web, having conversations, getting radicalized, saying, I'm going to go do this, and people cheering him on. People cheering him on. So I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do a Discord. So yesterday, Candace Owens says, I think it's a sale. I think it's a sale where they get activated and they go do stuff. I don't even think Candace Owens knows about the shooting in Sacramento. And I couldn't put everybody's picture on the thumbnail, but it is kind of disturbing that you guys don't even know that ABC got shot up after Jimmy Kimmel. And today we talked about Louis C.K. and that Jimmy Kimmel could have done like Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, or Louis C.K. He didn't have to try to get people upset, right? Gavin Newsom didn't have to come on TV and say push back on ICE, and then the next day ICE detention facility in Dallas gets shot. Gavin Newsom came on TV screaming, talking about Jimmy Kimmel and ICE. The next day, people are shot and killed. The Democrats have to sit down and shut the fuck up. The Democrats have to sit down and shut the fuck up. I mean, just for a little while. Gavin Newsom, Jimmy Kimmel, just shut the fuck up. I think Jimmy Kimmel could have sat down for a little while and be quiet. Or Jimmy Kimmel could have did like Louis C.K., recorded his show. If he wanted to be political, he could have went to YouTube. He could have did like Tucker Carlson. Jimmy Kimmel could do a show on YouTube. But you know what's the same thing? Listen to this. Listen to this. Let me share something with you that might blow your mind. Jimmy Kimmel could have brought his show to YouTube to prove his freedom of speech. But guess what is also true on YouTube? Jimmy Kimmel would have been forced to follow community guidelines, just like me, just like you. If you are a YouTube content creator, you must follow community guidelines. So even if Jimmy Kimmel brought his show to YouTube, he still couldn't say and do whatever he wanted. Do everybody watching understand this truth and fact? I am explaining something to you because the left tried to scare you and say Donald Trump wanted to stop freedom of speech. That is not true. Jimmy Kimmel never lost his ability to produce and record his television show. He lost the platform like Alex Jones lost the ability to be on YouTube. Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones were deplatformed today. Is that freedom of speech? Or can Alex Jones go over to Rumble? Can Alex Jones go over to Infowars.com? Can Alex Jones go out on a street corner and record himself so he can still speak? But Alex Jones was deplatformed today. Nick Fuentes was deplatformed today. How is that different than Jimmy Kimmel being deplatformed by the parent company who put out a statement that said Jimmy Kimmel making that statement so soon, whether it was right or wrong, was ill-timed and insensitive? That was the best reply. They said Jimmy Kimmel making that statement so soon was ill-timed and insensitive and hurt our ability to sell ads. We don't care if Jimmy Kimmel was right. That was the best answer from a billionaire that you could ever get. Billionaires don't care about Democrats, Republicans, none of that stuff. The best answer from a billionaire was Jimmy Kimmel said something too soon, and it hurt my ability to sell advertising. So I'm taking him off the air because it hurt my brand. My affiliates got pissed. What some young people don't understand is that sometimes it's not about right or wrong. Some of the affiliates just don't want to hear that politically charged content on their late night talk show. They don't care if Jimmy Kimmel was right or wrong. They just don't want Jimmy Kimmel. You are wrong. The FCC went after his show. That is not true. You are new. You are a piece of shit. Stanley, you are new and a piece of shit. Because I read here yesterday a statement from Axios. I'm not just talking like you, asshole. I am quoting the Axios statement that read and said Jimmy Kimmel comment was ill-timed, therefore insensitive, and offended our viewers and affiliates, prohibiting us for selling ads on a low-performing show. This was not Brendan Carr. This was not Brendan Carr, chairman of the FCC. See, that person didn't even know because they don't watch. This is what I'm talking about by hypnotized, radicalized leftists. They don't know any facts. They just heard something at the barbershop. He thinks I'm talking about Brendan Carr. He actually doesn't even know who Brendan Carr is and what the job is or what the FCC. I'm a content creator. I get guidelines. I'm trying to explain it to you, you fucking piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. I'm trying to explain it to you. Fucking idiot. You right, get the fuck out of here. You right, get the fuck out of here. That ain't no goddamn name. You right, that ain't no fucking name. Get the fuck out of here. Shit. Relax and talk sports. You think I'm talking about Brendan Carr? I bet you, who is Brendan Carr? Come on, trolls. Do y'all know MAGA is up on this shit? Do y'all know MAGA is up on this shit? You think I'm gonna come on here and jeopardize everything I work hard for? MAGA is up on this shit, man. Thank you. MAGA is up on this shit. You don't know who Brendan Carr is. You don't know any of these things. And Brendan Carr is doing a great job. That's why Donald Trump appointed him as head of the FCC, and he was right. Brendan Carr's decision was backed up by the CEO of Axios. So the CEO of Axios, everybody is not beholden to Trump. Some of the billionaires like to make money. Some billionaires like to make money. The CEO of Axios don't care about Trump, don't care about political affiliation. The CEO of Axios, one of the biggest affiliates at ABC, said in a quoted statement, the reason why I'm not airing the Jimmy Kimmel show is because his comments were ill-timed and perceived to be insensitive by advertisers and viewers. He didn't even say, he didn't politicize it. He didn't have to. Come on. He didn't politicize it. He didn't have to. He didn't have to politicize it. He didn't have to politicize it. He simply said Jimmy Kimmel should have waited till FBI came out with ballistics, did their investigation, and because Jimmy Kimmel said something at an insensitive time, I'm bringing him down, man. This is not Brendan Carr. This ain't the FCC. How many of you even know unless you watch my channel? This wasn't Brendan Carr. It's not the FCC. If you don't watch my channel, you don't even know. I can't believe we don't got 100 likes. I can't believe we don't got 100 likes. I need 100 likes. 179 people watching right now. I need 100 of y'all to hit the like button right now. And we need super chats. Hit the super chat right now. I want to play some videos. I want to play some videos. I guess
that value of having a partner is huge.
Like
finding someone you can trust.
I lost my place. I'm gonna play some videos. So today I created a thumbnail where you see a bunch of these shooters. And yesterday I said, I believe that it's orchestrated chaos. In my thumbnail, you'll see the title today, Orchestrated Chaos versus Lone Wolf. The CIA, thank you for that gift. The CIA, the FBI talks about this lone wolf theory. Let me read you this about lone wolf. Where am I broke at? About lone wolf. What do I got? About, because I was asking about lone wolf, about this lone wolf ideology, but I don't think it's lone wolf when you look at all of the similarities. And that's what Candace Owens pointed out the other day. It's not lone wolf. Ooh, I tell you, I done been attacked today, boy. I done been attacked. There go another super chat. I'm listening, OG. Shout out to Hezekiah. Shout out to Hezekiah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for, we need how many more? We need 12 more super chats and 100 more likes. 227 people watching. We need 12 more super chats and 100 more likes. So I got a thumbnail up there where I have all of these shooters, all of these leftist radical young white males who have used high power rifles to commit violence. And I have said, like Candace Owens, I said this is a concert of events, that these are not isolated. And I said I'm not getting a Discord, because I said I believe that they all are being radicalized on the dark web. And I even said to you, Candace Owens said MK Ultra. I said, going back to Kamala Harris, hypnotized. I said, you remember in the old TV shows and cartoons, you would get hypnotized and then they would ring a bell and you would start barking like a chicken? It would be on Fred Sanford. It would be on every old show in the 70s. Happy Days, What's Happening? They would have somebody come, do a hypnosis to one of your favorite characters on TV. Subliminal messaging. MK Ultra. So they would hypnotize Fonzie. They would hypnotize, Roger. And then Roger or Fonzie would go sit back down. And then the guy on the stage would be some weird guy. He would do some weird thing and make a ring a bell. And then Fonzie would start acting like a chicken. Bark, 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 bark. And then they ring a bell. And then he'll stop acting like a chicken. And then everybody would laugh. And because Fonzie didn't know that every time you ring a bell, so for the whole episode, think about this. Some of you are young, you didn't see this television show, so you don't get this understanding. For the whole episode, even after they left, don't do that. Fucking do that. For the whole episode, even after they left, this hypnosis guy, throughout the episode, the kids would ring the bell and then Fonzie would act like a chicken. That was that episode, right? And I saw this episode on TV done over and over again with different sitcoms. And what I said, Candace Owens said MK Ultra. What I said was, I believe Kamala Harris when she said the Democratic Party is hypnotized. And I believe, just like Fonzie, with these guys that are all similar, how old is Joshua Johnson? Listen to this. Joshua Johnson, anti-ICE shooting kills Dallas detainee, injures 2. Let me correct what I said yesterday because I was reading it as it live came out. I reported yesterday that more than one person was killed. That's up. Let me say, I apologize. I'm going to make a correction. The information is coming out to be updated. I was reading the news as it came out yesterday. This is the most recent information. Joshua Jan's anti-ICE shooting kills Dallas detainee, injures 2. On September 24th, 2025, 29-year-old Joshua Jan fired an AR-15 style rifle from a rooftop, a rifle from a rooftop, young white male rifle rooftop. Similarities, look at my thumbnail. Young white male rifle rooftop, leftist leaning radicalization. All these similarities, you telling me it's not a profile? Killing one immigrant detainee and quickly injuring 2 others, that's the correction, during their transport in a van before dying from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities classified the attack as domestic terrorism based on evidence including shell casings engraved with anti-ICE. That's one of the things I left out. So we have now 2 shootings from a young white male who's been leftist radicalized with a high-power rifle with engraved shell casings. I'm going to say that again. I talk fast. I apologize. You guys can listen faster so I ain't got to slow down. I said we have 2 shootings in 2 weeks. 2 shootings in 2 weeks. 2 young white males who have been left-wing radicalized using high-powered rifles with engraved shell casings. That's what's leading me to believe that there is some type of connection and conversation happening on the dark web. Let me continue my argument. With engraved with anti-ICE and a note threatening ICE agents, similarities to Tyler Robinson, similarities to Thomas Crown. Let's keep going. Amid a reporting surge in assaults on ICE facilities, what you didn't know is that there was a similar ICE attack 2 months before this. So this is not an isolated event. They keep telling you lone wolf. They want to shove it down your neck. Lone wolf, isolated. But listen, amid a reported surge, we're having a surge right now, a surge in high-powered rifle sniper killings. Would you agree that there's a surge? Would you agree that there's a surge in high-powered rifle shootings and killings in America? So they are saying there is a surge. Let me get back to it. You know I'm dyslexic. I got an eye appointment on October 1st to get some new glasses, you guys. Authorities classified the attack as domestic terrorism based on evidence including shell casings engraved with anti-ICE and a note threatening ICE agents amid a reported surge in assaults on ICE facilities. Republicans, including Vice President J.D. Vance and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, attributed the violence to Democratic criticism of ICE because the night before the shooting, listen, while Democrats such as Gavin Newsom rejected the claims and framed their statements as demands for accountability, but the night before the shooting, Gavin Newsom was on Colbert going after Donald Trump, and he said, push back on ICE. What did I say yesterday? I said ICE are American citizens. I said, how about we, instead of pushing back on ICE and the National Guard, I said, how about we cooperate? How about we support ICE? Because ICE is Americans and they're Americans doing a hard job, because we all know about the immigration issues from the border czar. Or wait a minute, she says she's not a border czar. I don't know what type of czar she was, but a bunch of immigrants came across the border. Millions of them came across the border. We voted for Trump because we wanted Trump to fix immigration. Part of Trump fixing immigration was not just stopping the flood of immigrants coming across the border, but dealing with the immigrants who were already here, who had came here under Biden, under false pretenses, under the border czar, and making them come through America in a legal process. That's what ICE is for. We have an issue. Did you guys forget? This is the thing where Democrats like Gavin Newsom lie and I think contribute to left-wing radicalization when they lie to American people and don't tell American people why ICE exists. And when you say they're wearing a mask, ICE is wearing a mask because they're American citizens who live and go to work in the same areas as you, and they don't want to get hurt. They keep getting attacked. The reason why ICE is masked is because they're not foreign entities. They live and work with you. They have a hard job, and people after BLM protests where they said Black Lives Matter and defund the police. Now people hate the police. People hate law enforcement, and it's become even a harder job. Can I say right now, thank you to all of the police officers. You have a very hard job, and I want you to know every Black person is not a criminal. Every Black person does not hate the police. Some Black people own homes. Some Black people vote. Some Black people pay taxes, go to church, and love the police to protect my nice home and my beautiful fat booty white wife. Do you understand? I love the police. I live in a HOA. You saw me come from my backyard. I live on a park. I live on Park Place. In the HOA, there's water. I can walk and go fishing. I love the police. For some reason, Democrats think Black people hate the police. They told you during BLM riots, you saw all these Black people twerking in front of police. Today, I want to say thank you to all the police officers. You have a very difficult job. Thank you to all of the National Guard in LA. Thank you to all of the National Guard who helped clean up Chocolate City. Can I say this? I think you deserve a thank you. Do y'all know what Chocolate City is? Anybody know what Chocolate City is? Chocolate City is Washington, D.C. And I never heard a thank you, but right now, today, you're going to get a thank you. Thank you, National Guard, for cleaning up Washington, D.C. You never get thank yous. If you listen to Democratic media, you're not going to get a thank you. You won't. God bless Charlie Kirk. If you listen to Democratic media, you would think that we don't love you. Well, ICE agents, it's a thankless job. Well, guess what? And this is straight up. As a Black man, I want to say thank you to ICE agents with Black male children who need jobs. Thank you, ICE agents, for protecting our economy, for protecting our borders and our laws and rules. Thank you, ICE agents. Why doesn't anyone ever say the ICE agent and the National Guard is for the Make America Great? It's for you. Help them, cooperate with them, support them. When National Guard comes to your city to get immigrants, flag them down and tell them where the immigrants are. Support the National Guard. Support the ICE. If you see ICE agents in your city and you know where immigrants are who don't have legal paperwork, tell the ICE agents. Why are we telling citizens to push back against ICE when ICE is doing a legal job? ICE is not doing anything illegal. The people who immigrated here without proper paperwork are the ones who are doing something illegal. It makes no sense to me, Gavin Newsom. ICE doesn't deserve citizens to push back on them for doing a job and enforcing the law. ICE is enforcing the law, Gavin. And look what it resulted. It resulted in a shooting, Gavin. Someone shot and killed somebody because you misappropriate the facts. ICE are American citizens helping enforce a law that your Democratic president refused to. Now we have a problem, Gavin Newsom. Now we have a problem, Gavin Newsom. Now we have a problem that needs to be fixed. ICE was created because the border czar is non-existent. So what do we do, Gavin? What do we do, Democratic Chosen in the chat? We give our country. Do y'all know how many? Remember the guy who got a license in California who came across the Mexican border during the Biden administration? Let's have a talk. Do you remember the guy who Gavin Newsom gave a license, who came across the Mexican border during the last administration, he killed someone by making an illegal U-turn. He killed the whole family by making an illegal U-turn. But that's not what I want to talk about. You know what I want to talk about? He wasn't Mexican. I'm going to say it again. He wasn't Mexican. That's why we have ICE. The gentleman, because everybody think the people who came across the Mexican border during the last administration were Mexican. There were a lot of Chinese. There were a lot of people from everywhere. And the guy who came across the Mexican border under the last administration got a license. Because in California, Gavin Newsom said, give them a license. My son needs a job, Gavin Newsom. My 20-year-old needs a job, Gavin Newsom. How can I want my 20-year-old to have a job when you giving licenses to people who are not citizens? And he got a job and he killed somebody and he wasn't Mexican. Do you see how this issue becomes perverted? Do you see how people get radicalized? They don't know the truth of anything. They hear me say immigration and they immediately think Latino. They immediately think Mexican. They immediately think ICE, La Migra. They immediately think ICE going after Latinos. They don't understand the crime, the corruption that came into the country. 10 million people. It's racist. It's racist to infer that they were all like Mexicans are unhappy. Mexico is one of the greatest, most growing countries in the globe. Did y'all know the Mexican economy is one of the most sought after economies in the globe? This is one of the things about this. Those people weren't even coming from Mexico. They were coming from South America. It's racist to say that they were Mexicans. Americans assumed that they were Mexicans. You know where your Mercedes Benz were probably built? Somebody in the chat gonna laugh. Somebody in the chat gonna laugh. You know where your Mercedes Benz was probably built? You know where your Volkswagen, your Audi was probably built? You know where some of the most advanced factories in the globe are right now? In Mexico, not in Germany, not in China. Not in Germany, not in China. Your Fender guitars. How many people got a Mercedes? How many people bought their wife a nice car? Y'all know why I know this stuff, y'all. Anybody bought their wife a nice car, a Volkswagen? Volkswagen owns everything. Volkswagen is been taken over in Mexico. Some of the most advanced factories in the globe are in Mexico. Mexicans have some of the best economy, highest wages. They're not running to America. But if you listen to racist leftists, you get triggered. You get triggered. There's this idea that ICE against Mexicans. And that's not true. Gavin Newsom and the Democrats frame this like they got all these people with flags burning in Los Angeles. It ain't got nothing to do with Mexicans. Mexicans is happy in Mexico. Our economy is worse than the Mexican economy. Democrats lied to you. This is I'm giving you evidence. I'm staying on topic. I am educating you on the Democrats' leftist radicalization. There's this idea, and some of you right now in the chat is getting your mind blown. You're getting your mind blown because you did hear about that guy who killed somebody and Gavin Newsom gave him a license, and you have heard and you like, man, you know what? He right. Mexicans ain't trying to run here. Why do the Democrats have framed this debate to have ICE against Mexicans? And that's not it. It's like WWE. Gavin Newsom is like WrestleMania, and he getting everybody upset. Someone shot into an ICE facility. Unfortunately, Gavin Newsom, he killed one of the detainees. Let's read Cash Patel. Let's read Cash Patel. Cash Patel says, and Cash Patel, you almost like a comic strip, because Cash always put out a statement that's wrong, incorrect, and Cash always. I love you, Cash. I love you, Cash. I do, but man, you be messing up, man. Yes, I'm a Trumper, but more than that, I'm a conservative, and I'm America first. When you say, "Oh God, a Trumper," do you know what "Make America Great" MAGA means? Do you want Californication for the nation? Trump's stupidity is hilarious. Get James Arnold the fuck out of here. Fuck you, James. They want Californication for the nation. Yeah, I've been nice. I've been nice. I'm not being nice no more. I'm not being Republican. Is nothing wrong with supporting the president. I am tired of this sycophant, little kid, baby bullshit. You can disagree with me. I respect the disagreement, but we got to start calling out the sick people who don't get that it's sick and anti-American to hate the president, and that is sick. And there's something wrong with you if you don't respect someone who does love the president of the United States. There's something wrong with you. You maybe need to live in another country, because you probably got this shit fucked up. You really got shit fucked up. You can disagree with the president. You can disagree with me. But if you don't love the president, you don't love the country, then you got this shit fucked up, bro. You got this shit fucked up. You need to go somewhere else. You need to go somewhere else. And I'm not taking it no more. I think the Republicans have too much just been okay with people who say bad things about Trump, because we know we always believe they can't do nothing, but they are hurting us. So we no more taking it lightly. All the people who be saying bad things about Trump, we can't take it lightly no more, because we don't know if those people are part of this MK Ultra hypnosis, and they may be activated in a cell to come hurt somebody. You think it's just a thing in the chat, because we can't think like that no more. After Charlie Kirk, after Joshua, after Luigi, after Tom, after all of these people on my thumbnail, you can't just take it lightly no more. We can't afford to take it lightly no more, because it's a perverted idea. It's a perverted ideology. I've asked for disagreement. Have all of you noticed that the Democrats don't know how to disagree without violence? Have all of you noticed the Democrats do not know how to disagree without violence? I've asked for debate. I have intelligent moderators. I have intelligent people in the chat. And instead of intelligent debate, the Democrats only know how to attack, designed by Gavin Newsom, designed by Democratic leadership. Gavin Newsom didn't say promote debate. Let's have a discussion. Gavin Newsom said push back, and then someone pushed back. Can I say that in the chat? Gavin Newsom said push back, and then someone, Joshua, push back. From Cash Patel, FBI desk. FBI Dallas and FBI headquarters have been working 24/7 to seize devices, exploit data, and process writings attained on location and the subject's person, residence, bedroom. The FBI is committed to providing timely updates as promised. The PERT downloaded a document titled Dallas County Office Homeland Security and Emergency Management, containing a list of DHS facilities. He conducted multiple searches of ballistics and the Charlie Kirk shot video between 9/23 and 9/24. Between 8/19 and 8/24, he searched apps that tracked the presence of ICE agents. So going back to 8/19, August 19th, well before the Charlie Kirk shooting, this is what me and Candace were saying. I can't just go over that. I'm going to finish my statement, but I can't just go over the fact of this is what I mean by no Discord, no dark web, no secret servers. This is what I mean. Going back to August 19th, he was recently radicalized. He was being groomed, like they say in the new age, to do harm. He was looking for ballistics. He was looking, and I think a lot of people saw the Charlie Kirk event and they are inspired to do like Charlie Kirk. Do what Tyler Robinson did. Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk is an inflection point in American history. After Charlie Kirk, everything changes. If you guys haven't noticed that, you sleep. You sleep. And Charlie Kirk was not the beginning. Usually in historical inflection points, if you pay attention, when you get to the inflection point is the middle. You got to think about this historical thing that's happening as a circle, right? And Charlie Kirk is at the center of that circle, right? But that's the inflection point, but that's not the beginning. The beginning is over here. The beginning is over here with the triple assassination attempts on Trump. And we didn't pay attention. Remember Joe Rogan? Remember all of MAGA? Remember Joe Rogan and all of MAGA? We kept saying, hey, why are we not talking about Donald Trump's assassination? Someone died. He got shot in the ear. Hey, why we don't talk about that? Hey, where's the Senate investigation? Hey, who was that guy? Hey, why did he do that? Joe Rogan and MAGA have been asking that question for months. Ever since the Donald Trump assassination, 3 attempts, the guy in the grass. He sat in the grass for 5 hours. And Joe Rogan and all of us have said, how come we're not talking about this more to understand what happened to prevent it from happening again? I'm going to say that again. How come we're not talking about this more to understand what happened, what radicalized these individuals so that we can prohibit it from happening again? We just kept going. We ignored it because they said lone wolf, lone wolf, lone wolf. So we ignored it. We just kept going. Oh, Joe Rogan. Oh, perfect. There's no reason to unpack and discuss any further what happened with Donald Trump and those 3 execution attempts. Those were each 3 individual separate events of lone wolfism. We don't need to talk about it anymore. There's nothing to extrapolate. There's no profile. There's no similarities. There's nothing we can extrapolate from those 3 assassination attempts that would help us in the future protect our, what do they call them? Protect our, what's the person that FBI be trying to protect? The asset, to help us protect our assets. But that was a lie. That was a failure. That's why the head of the Secret Service got fired. There was a lot to extrapolate from those 3 shooters. All of them were white males who were recently radicalized, left, and they all had high-powered rifles. Just the fact that we got to prepare for snipers. What did I say yesterday? Charlie Kirk should have had the bulletproof glass that go up. Like, y'all remember the podiums during that time with terrorist attacks and everything? When Bush would come out, they changed the way the president, they had the bulletproof glass, and the glass would come up and bend this way. If we be honest, if we stop lying to the American people that these are all lone wolves, if we stop lying to the American people that they are not left-wing radicalists, then we can start preparing, because now we have a profile. We know who to look for. We know to look for young white men who have been recently radicalized online. We know to look on rooftops. We know that we have to look for threats from high-powered rifles. So when you do speaking events, you got to protect. That's what Steven Crowder was saying. Do you know how dangerous it is? You know, people have been saying Candace Owens is going over the top. Do you know how dangerous it is if we ignore what I present today? I think today I'm supposed to have 1,000 people watching. I got flagged. I think there's some more violence coming. I pray it's not, but them flagging me down and me not being able to get my message out is going to affect people in a negative way, because I think it's dangerous for us not to recognize these similarities so that we can start protecting ourselves against the real threat. Because if we keep saying to ourselves that they're lone wolves and there's no threat, then we are just food for slaughter. Do y'all understand why today is so important? Indianapolis is laughing. Why are you laughing? Is this like when people were laughing at Charlie Kirk's death? I don't understand what's going on in America. I'm talking about, and the thing about it, Indianapolis, the person who was killed in Dallas was an immigrant. So are you laughing at, are you racist against immigrants, or are you racist against Trump? Because I don't understand why you're laughing at someone's death. We're talking about a shooting that killed someone in Dallas. What's funny? What's funny? Victor Harris said, both things are funny. Get Victor the fuck out of here and get Indianapolis the fuck out of here. Fuck you both. Get Victor the fuck out of here, get Indianapolis the fuck out of here. Fuck you both. Fuck you both. I bet you the family of the person who was killed is not laughing. I bet you the ICE agents who had to go back to work this morning are not laughing. Thank you. Can I say thank you for your service? Because those ICE agents got up again and went back to work this morning. And I don't know if anybody who trolling me in the chat, would you be brave enough to put back on your uniform and go back to work knowing that somebody might try to kill you? Would you be brave enough to be a law enforcement in 2025? Would you be brave enough to be a police officer in 2025 knowing that someone might kill you who didn't even know why they did it? Some 20-year-old, based on some fake bullshit he heard online, might take you away from your family. Would you be brave enough to go back to work today? I want to say thank you to those ICE agents. Thank you to that National Guard, because whether you know it or not, they got up and they went back to work today. Those are real men. Those are real Americans. They deserve our support. They deserve our thanks. They deserve our prayers. They don't deserve you in my chat laughing. So I'm not going to allow it. We're not playing with pussies like you no more. I'm not going to allow it. Some real men got up this morning. Do you know how their wives had to feel? Fuck the algorithm. I'm tired today. I should maybe end the live stream because I'm about to start cussing and I'm going to get myself in trouble. Do you know how those wives had to feel? Because I know how my wife loves me. I know some of those wives didn't want their husbands to go to work today, but they still went to work. Baby, take off. Baby, don't go in today. Maybe just take off a week until everything calms down. But if all the police officers took off a week, who would protect us? You know what? I wouldn't even blame them because you don't deserve it. Like the new Superman movie, the way you guys act, all I saw from that new Superman movie was all the people in my chat. They don't deserve police. I don't feel bad for anybody dealing with, after Black Lives Matter and defund the police, if you live in the inner city community and you're dealing with gangs and people getting shot, that's your fault. I don't have no empathy for you because you guys shit on police. Now, what are you dealing with? All this death. You could have helped the police. Would you say no snitching? Don't snitch. And what did you see in Atlanta? While you living in your house, following a rule, and your community is riddled with gangs, drugs, and death, but you don't call the police because Black people don't snitch. What did they do when they got arrested? All them little assholes snitched. So Black people, there is no reason for you not to call the police. Black people, there is no reason for you not to support your local police department. Stop following these stupid rules from an ignorant culture. You at home in your house, you're not a criminal. You live in the Black community because you're poor, but you're not a criminal. So you don't call the police because you got this idiot ideology that Black people don't call the police. But these little motherfuckers get arrested and they all snitch. They all telling each other. So why are you in the Black community keeping their secret? When the ICE agents show up, when the National Guard show up, hey, National Guard, go to 227. Man, that's a crack house. Hey, ICE agents, yeah, go down there to 63rd. All the immigrants is down there waiting to get a job. None of them got a green card. I bet you it won't be no violence. I bet you we could fix the problem. If Democrats stop lying to Americans and tell them work with these people, we wouldn't even have a problem. All right, let me go back. I was reading Cash Patel. I took a break from Cash Patel because I wanted you to understand that these guys are online getting radicalized. A guppy ghillie suit. What is that, man? Hey, relax. Guppy, I can't figure this person out. Guppy, you need to state what side you on. Because you keep saying shit all day, every day, serve and protect. Stay on topic, Guppy. What is WWG? Like, stop with the weird shit. Stop with the weird shit. I need to be able to identify the ops. Guppy good? Okay. I need to be able to identify the ops. And I see some weird shit in the chat. And I don't know what that is. What does that mean? And don't even write it. Just stay on topic. So between 1819 to 1824, he searched apps that track presence of ICE agents. One of the handwritten notes recovered read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think." Wow, that's cold. One of the handwritten notes recovered read, "Hopefully this will give." I just said that. How do those wives feel? Those men going back to work today? I bet you the wives and the kids don't want their dads to go back to work. They want their dad to get a different job. And this is what this is the type of stuff the people that were singing and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. It's not just that they left-wing radicalized, but it's the type of individuals they are and how much they like violence and the type of violence that they find attractive and what they get joy from. This type of mentality, this like a insane Dexter type of person. And I don't think we're talking about it enough. Like the people who were singing about Charlie Kirk's death, and people think, listen to this. This is deeper than someone who just shoots someone and kills them because they don't like them. These Democrats, these left-wing Democrats, when they LGBT, when they trans, they are into some sick shit. They want people to be in pain and afraid and some devilish, evil fucking shit. Not just kill you, but they want people around to have some evil demon. Listen to this. Because you could kill somebody because you don't like them. But listen to this. One of the handwritten notes recovered read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror." Like, you got to unpack that, bro. Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror. Tyler Robinson wrote on the bullets, "If you're reading this, you're gay." And some other Antifa and a song that's singing about killing and death. This is different type of violence. This is a different type of violence that we are dealing with high-powered rifles and snipers. This is a different type of violence where the individuals don't just want to kill, they want to instill terror. I said, how many times y'all know I've been saying the Democrats rule via fear mongering? The person didn't just want to kill. That's why they shot 4 different people, then shot themselves. His goal was to terror. These are terrorists. How come MAGA, alt-right, are referred to? Even Biden tried to get MAGA as terrorists. I couldn't even be MAGA under the last administration because my channel would get canceled. How come we can't call real terrorism when we see real terrorism? I don't see no one saying, every time I say left-wing radical, the algorithm fucks me over. How come we can't be honest about this? It's gonna be more violence. It's gonna be more violence. Y'all don't see the chat? How many people sniped me today, Mr. Boski, Ozzy Cosby? How many people sniped me today? There's a sniper in Sacramento. I live in Sacramento. There's a left-wing cell in there's a cell in Sacramento. I could be hurt while they troll in the chat. Mr. Boski, Ozzy, while they're trolling in the chat, someone could hurt me and my family, bro. These people got ops inside. They already activated one. He shot up the AB. Let's read that. Okay, let me finish this. They had written, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think. Is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof?" Did you hear that? He wants them to be afraid. Is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof? His goal was terrorism. I don't know. I hope I got to say allegedly. I mean, it's obvious to me, but maybe Google won't like it. I don't know. I'll say allegedly. My argument is his goal was terrorism. Further accumulated evidence to this point indicates a high degree of pre-attack planning going back to August. What does that tell you? If they all had this pre-attack planning, it's what Candace and I are saying, that there is orchestrated chaos. There's a concert of events. The lone wolf are not hanging up. The lone wolf is not hanging up. The media refuses to tell the truth about the violent, criminal, illegal aliens ICE is removing, like the monster who strangled and killed a precious baby girl. Okay, let me go to the Sacramento. Let's go to Sacramento. Sacramento ABC affiliate shooting incident. On September 19, 2025, a drive-by shooting targeted the lobby of KTVV, ABC 10, and ABC affiliate. Maybe this is why they took Jimmy Kimmel off the air. Pay attention. Television station located at 400 Broadway in Sacramento, California. At approximately 1:30 p.m. local time, at least 3 bullets struck the building's lobby while it was occupied by staff, but no one was injured. The station owned by Tigna immediately enhanced security measures following the incident. Suspect and arrest. The suspect, listen to this, 64-year-old Anibal Hernandez Santana of Sacramento was arrested later that day in City River Park neighborhood with assistance from Sacramento Police Department and the FBI. FBI, you didn't stop it, but the FBI was arrested. Thank you, Guppy. He was initially charged local with assault with a deadly weapon, shooting into occupied building, and neglect discharge of a firearm. After posting bail and being released, listen to this. So in Sacramento, there was a left-wing radicalist who, after Jimmy Kimmel was taken off of stage, he shot into ABC in a drive-by shooting. Mr. Hernandez, who's been radicalized to think that ICE has a fight with Mexicans, and they don't. I'm sorry, Mr. Hernandez. ICE is not looking for Mexicans. You have been lied to by the Democrats. So Mr. Hernandez shoots into ABC after Jimmy Kimmel, but he was released. I'm not lying. He posts bail and he got out of jail after shooting up ABC. So when we argue that they want the violence and they want us to be hurt, Steven Crowder, I think people think Steven Crowder was going over the top. I don't think people understand the climate. Someone shot into ABC. He should have been charged as a terrorist. He should have been charged as a political activist and political crime. But somehow he got released from jail to go hurt somebody else. Fortunately, listen, he was rearrested by the FBI on federal charges related to interfering with communications of federal licensed stations. As of September 22nd, he was held without bail and appeared in federal court on September 22nd. Thank God for the FBI. Thank God for the FBI. Evidence and motive. Investigators linked Hernandez to the crime via a vehicle suspected in the shooting. A search of the car revealed handwritten notes, just like Joshua in Dallas. Listen to this. Search of the car exposed handwritten notes, opposition to Trump administration officials stating they were next on his list. All of these guys seem to have a list. All of these guys seem to have a list. I just read something where somebody said, who else is on the list? I don't know. It was this morning. Andrew Tate. Somebody said, but all these guys have a list. Lazy Bones, how you doing, Lazy Bones? Defend yourself is what Carter was on. And the only way to defend yourself is to be honest about who is the threat. Who is the threat? I don't think Crowder going to be playing with no young white men at his event. And I think Crowder going to be making sure he got people on every rooftop, and any 20 to 30-year-old white male is getting patted down and do a background check. That's what should be happening. Any 20 to 30 white male is getting patted down, background check, cover every CRXR. What's up with you? Cover every rooftop. Investigators linked Hernandez Santana to the crime via a vehicle suspected in the shooting. A search of the car revealed handwritten notes expressing opposition to Trump administration officials, stating they were next on his list. Additional evidence included a note at his home with a calendar reminder dated September 19th, do the next scary thing. So on September 19th, he was always going to do this. This is not MK Ultra. That's not MK Ultra. That he had it written down at home, that on September 19th, it's not a sale. Do the next scary thing. His X account, which was flagged by the platform 3 days prior to the violent speech, contained numerous anti-Trump posts, and nobody was watching them. We got FBI in Sacramento. It's the state capital, 5th largest economy in the world. He's on X getting flagged for anti-Trump, and he just still gets shot. He shoot up and then get released, including references to the election, denialism, and criticism of far-left figures like Charlie Kirk. Wow. And criticism of far-left figures like Charlie Kirk, whose assassination attempt on September 10th at UVU has sparked national controversy. The timing raised questions about a potential connection to recent events at ABC. The shooting occurred one day after protesters gathered outside of the station on September 18th to condemn ABC's indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, a decision prompted by Kimmel's on-air comments criticizing Trump administration response to Kirk's death. The suspension affected affiliates nationwide and drew accusation of censorship. We debunked that today from liberals and free speech advocates. However, authorities have not confirmed a direct link, and the motive remains under investigation, of course, because then we can say lone wolf. Broader context. The incident highlight escalate tensions around media coverage of political violence in the U.S. following Kirk's assassination. Conservative outlets suggest that the shooting exemplified radical leftist. It does. Radical leftist threats. How can you ignore that? While others noted it occurred amid widespread protests. Again, lone wolf, just keeping us to get more violence. No other injuries related for the latest updates. Okay. Now, I want to play to you what Candace Owens said about the sale. Yesterday, I said that we're not doing a Discord. I said that these people are all linked together. They all have been radicalized on the dark web. And I use Discord as an example and an argument. Candace Owens mirrored our conversation. Let me play it.
Their race, their color, whether they were homosexual, there's something there for everyone. So what's happening here? Well, I can tell you my suspicion. I think that this is a program. I do. I don't know, but I know. You know? I don't know, but I know. Because it is giving me the same ick that I had when I was looking through the period and learning the reality of what happened through the 1960s when MK Ultra, when that program was running. And I have no reason to believe that that program was ever discontinued. And I believe that they find these candidates in schools. I really do. I think they find these candidates in schools. And so I wanted to express that to you, that we, once again, are having a predicament, and we can trace this straight from what they did to when JFK was assassinated, where the feds are obscuring. They are using journalists to obscure. They are putting pressure on government officials. They are lying to the public about everything, except this time it's regarding Charlie Kirk, which means this time it's not going to fly because I'm not going to allow it to. Let's take a pause here and we're going to.
That was Candace Owens mirroring our talking points. She said, I think it's a program. Like MKO, I think it's a program. I think they find these kids in school. She is just like Charlie, beautiful mind. Yes. Thank Candace Owens for everything. Thank Candace Owens for Blexit. She said she thinks it's a program. Like when I said that yesterday, we was freestyling. it to me, it was obvious. When we were talking about this yesterday, I was freestyling, and to me, it seemed obvious that these are all connected, and they are all being radicalized in the dark web online. Candace Owens repeated our talking points. Shout out to Candace Owens. Shout out to Candace Owens. Yesterday, I talked about, this is my last topic. Yesterday, we talked about how the left radicalizes, right? And I talked about Project 2025. And I said, why do you know about Project 2025? So I did my research, and I said, I asked a question. I said, I want videos and evidence of the liberal left media fear-mongering Project 2025 and 2024. Listen to this. Project 2025, a 900-page policy blueprint from the Heritage Foundation released in 2023, outlines conservatives' proposals for reshaping the U.S. federal government under Republican administration, including expanding the power, reducing federal agencies like the Department of Education, restricting abortion access, and overhauling civil service protections. During the 2024 election cycle, liberal-leaning media, Democrat leaders, and activists frequently highlighted these elements, often framing the plan as authoritarian threat to democracy, civil rights, and social progress. Critics from the conservative outlet accuse this fear-mongering to distract from Democratic weakness, but polls show it resonating with Democrats. So MAGA was saying that they are doing this to distract, but the polls show the lies that they were telling about 2025 resonated. We're seeing the effects of that now. The coverage peaked after Biden's June 2024 debate performance, with the Democrats posting about it over 100 times on X alone, because Joe Biden lost that debate. Listen, the coverage peaked after Joe Biden's 2024 debate performance where he lost, with Democrats posting about Project 2025 over 100 times on X alone. Below, I have links of articles from X where, okay, The Guardian. I read the full 900-page Project 2025 manifesto. Here's why it mattered. The author was a buzzword for 2024 election to alert voters to Trump potential return, calling it a boogeyman for liberals fearing government overhaul. CNN, Trump's claims not to know who was behind Project 2025. CNN review found that at least 140 people worked for him and involved. Details Trump's ex-aides' involvement in framing a roadmap for, listen, authoritarian shifts, notes the Democratic associations of lying and fear-mongering, but substantiated tie. This is what I'm giving you. You got The Guardian, you got CNN, all of them fear-mongering. Reuters, Project 2025, what is it? Biden campaign uses it as proof of Trump's authoritarian and hard right policies, highlights mass firings and loyalist replacements. This is Reuters. So we got The Guardian, CNN, Reuters. Now, BBC News. What is Project 2025? Covers fears of chaos in civil service and Trump's notes Harris post-election fundraising appeal. Now, ACLU, remember yesterday, I talked about how they use Project 2025 to radicalize the people who are committing the violence. ACLU, Project 2025 explained, warns of dismantling civil rights, including voting restrictions and disinformation, calls it a perilous threat to democracy. The ACLU in 2024, during the presidential election, did a story on Project 2025. It was called Project 2025 Explained. And the ACLU said, in that story, warned of dismantling civil rights, taking away the vote, and a perilous threat to democracy. Y'all wonder why we dealing with this today? I'm wondering why Gavin Newsom is playing dumb. Gavin Newsom was around in 2024. I'm wondering why Gavin Newsom is playing dumb. Center of American Progress. Think about this. Think about how powerful this is if you're young and you were watching this and you are arguing with me about leftist radicalization. Yesterday, Candace Owens, man, we were on a roll. So I had to come back and give you the receipts because I can't just say, hey, y'all remember Project 2025. Y'all remember the fear mongering. So I went into growth. Now we're at ACLU. Now, Center for American Progress. Project 2025 would destroy the U.S. I am not making this up. I wish I was making this up. This is what happened. This is why we are here. Center for American Progress, because these are all 20-year-olds. So you are maybe, I'm 50, you may be 30 or 40 watching me right now. You may not have been so highly influenced by all this wave, this media wave. It was a wave of information, a wave of misinformation. 18, 19, 21-year-olds. Remember what we learned from Candace Owens about the shooter of Donald Trump? He was pro-Trump. He became radicalized on the left during the Biden administration, maybe because he was getting fed that democracy was about to come down under Trump. Did you hear what I said? And he may have believed it as a young, lonely man without a girlfriend, without a father, stuck in the house. He probably believed everything that the BBC, the ACLU, CNN, Reuters, these are reputable news outlets. This is not gossip. This is not one of those tabloids. This is not tabloids. This is The Guardian. This is CNN. A 20-year-old might think this is fact. This is Reuters. This is BBC. This is ACLU. Center for American Progress. Project 2025 would destroy the U.S. I don't even know how you get to say that. How do you get to promote? How do you get to print that? I couldn't print that. Project 2025 would destroy the U.S. Labels it as far-right assault. If you interpret Project 2025 as an assault, then you have a right to defend yourself, right? If they interpreted Project 2025 as an alt-right assault, we got to defend ourselves. We have to defend America. These kids might think they're defending America. I am talking to you about left-wing radicalization. I mentioned it yesterday. I'm bringing you the receipts today on how they spookified the 2024 election and terrified leftists into violence. The Center for American Progress did a story that called Project 2025 would destroy America, and they labeled it a far-right assault. Assault, that's a crime. You get hurt with an assault. Listen to this, creating an imperial presidency. Wouldn't you think you need to protect yourself from that? The Center for American Progress said Project 2025 was a far-right assault, creating an imperial presidency. Center for American Projects, 2025 would destroy the U.S. system of checks and balances. Labels it as far-right assault, creating an imperial presidency that hurts everyday Americans and strips rights. That is powerful juju. That is powerful juju. Did y'all hear what I just said? That is powerful juju. Accusing labels it as far-right, creating an imperial presidency that hurts everyday Americans and strips rights. And next we have Prism Reports. Why didn't mainstream media warn people about Project 2025? Accuses media of underplaying its decades-long plot to undermine democracy, trying it to 80s fear-mongering, tying it to 80s fear-mongering, but urging more alarm. That is what I had. That is what I was saying to you yesterday. And they act like that never happened.
Project 2025 is a far-right Christian nationalist agenda. By page 5, they're already proclaiming pornography should be outlawed. The people who produce and distribute it should be imprisoned. Educators and public librarians who purvey it should be classed as registered sex offenders. This would be alarming enough if they were talking about actual pornography. But their definition spans anything that acknowledges the existence of LGBTQ people. They claim on page 451 that families comprised of a married mother, father, and their children are the foundation of a well-ordered nation and healthy society, thereby designating queer people, single parents, unmarried co-parents, and people who get abortions as inherently inferior and a threat to the state. On page 584, they call for the Department of Labor to explicitly give companies permission to discriminate against LGBTQ Americans. On page 450, they also declare that life begins at conception, and abortion is, quote, not healthcare. Accordingly, the FDA would ban abortion medications, as detailed on page 458. The administration would also seek to strip abortion services and contraception from health plans. See pages 483 and 585.
Fear-mongering. All of that was untrue fear-mongering. All of that untrue fear-mongering.
Retribution! Yo! For the TV audience, we just had Johnny McEntee on here, one of President Trump's closest advisors. Johnny's going to be running all personnel. He's actually the guy overcharged of all Project 2025. This is for Joy Ann Reid, Chris Hayes, Rachel Maddow, and my favorite, Morning Meatball. Suck on this. 3,000 day one.
Let me find this other link. Let me get this other link up.
I know you've heard a lot of us talking about Project 2025 this election season, and there's a reason for it, because it's freaking terrifying. The Copper Courier here in Arizona did a great article titled How Project 2025 Would Poison Millions of Americans.
I'm not even going to play the propaganda. I'm not a propaganda channel. That's enough for me. That was enough for me. So you got to understand how this radicalization, I'm not going to play it because I'm not a propaganda channel. That was enough. When he said Project 2025 poisons Americans, and I don't know how you don't understand how you get to violence with the language and rhetoric that was used in 2024. Poison, civil rights, imperial. Think about the language the left has used. And can anyone find me comparable language on the right? I don't hear anyone on the right saying an 80-year-old man was going to be king. No one thought Biden, we knew Biden couldn't be president again. He was too old. No one on the right, only thing people on the right said about Biden is that he's too old, he's falling asleep. But no one ever inferred anything nefarious saying that Biden was going to poison or Biden was taking civil, even though he did do all those things allegedly. Like, no one on the right ever said any of these heinous things, hyperbolic things that the left used because they didn't have anything to protect them. So that Joe Biden lost the first debate. See, what was left out of that definition that I read when they started pushing their Project 2025? Joe Biden lost the first debate. That's why they went so low. Remember I told you about Obama, when they go low, we go high. No, the Democrats go low. When they go low, the Democrats go lower. Joe Biden lost the first debate. That's why they went all in on Project 2025, trying to scare Americans because they knew Joe Biden wasn't going to win. Joe Biden lost the first debate. How do we get Americans to vote Democrat? We have to terrify them with Project 2025. And they created this fear campaign. They create, I just wanted to give a brief example. I'm not going to play it all, but my argument is they created a fear campaign around Project 2025. And what you find is they were party of this radicalization that we're experiencing right now. By calling Donald Trump and Project 2025 and MAGA Republican policies imperial, poisonous, authoritarian. If you're new here, 35, 36, be careful. I've been chopping off heads today. Just to answer your question, out of love and respect for you, brother, The Guardian, CNN, Rutgers, BBC, ACLU. It says here, boogeyman, authoritarian shifts, hard right policies, chaos in civil service distancing, dismantling civil rights, perilous threat to democracy, far right assault, imperial presidency. Just to answer your question. I think that's it, y'all. Love what I'm hearing. Thank you, Terry. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching, liking, subscribing. Today was tough, y'all. You know, I've been excited. You know, we've been breaking a lot of records. I was hopeful that today we get up to 1,000 people watching. Just keep building the momentum. I worked hard on my thumbnail. I worked hard on my title, and I researched the information. We started off the podcast real high. The numbers were high early, and all of a sudden, we got a sniper. I do not feel good about today. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a human. I feel hurt. I know the trolls like that, but I do not feel good about how things went today at all. It just like reminds me about how powerless you are as a content creator. And it don't feel good to be in a position to where you just can be, you know, I don't think that's the design. I'm still here. So YouTube protected the live stream. YouTube recognized that I was being attacked, and they didn't let this person take down the live stream, right? But man, it hurt. It hurt the numbers. It hurt my self-esteem. It just hurt. I think it hurt because I didn't view it as someone flat. I viewed it as a sniper. And what hurt so much is that YouTube and everyone is not seeing the sniper. I see the sniper. I want to say one last thing. Candace Owens talked about Charlie Kirk having a curse put on him. Megyn Kelly said Charlie Kirk had called a Catholic priest to come and pray with him the night before because he felt, him and his wife felt so conflicted about the negative information online. The negative voices online, just like me right now. So I need you guys to pray for me. I need you guys to pray for me, for real. Charlie Kirk and his wife, it got to him. It's getting to me, y'all. It's getting to me. I promise I need a break. I might not go live tomorrow so I can take a break. I think I might take a break tomorrow. It got to Charlie Kirk and his wife so much the night before the Utah event. he called a Catholic priest. Thank you, Sean. And the Catholic priest prayed with him and his wife. This is what I want to share with you guys. How you doing, Jack? When I watched the Charlie Kirk video, and I'm sorry I'm getting choked up, I noticed something that I noticed about Nipsey Hussle, I noticed about Tupac. I said to my wife, I said, do you remember the Tupac photo when Tupac was in the car with Suge Knight right before his murder? How sad he looked, how soulless he looked, that it didn't look like the Tupac that we come to love, know and love. Does anybody remember the Tupac picture before he passed away with Suge? Y'all remember that picture? I remember that picture. Looked as sad. Didn't look like the Pac that we had come to know. Look at this picture. Look at the way Suge looked. It's almost like a deer caught in headlights. So I said to my wife, I said, after I got the information, I said this to my wife twice. My wife is a busy woman. She take care of me, the kids, the house. I thank God for my wife. I'm truly blessed. I said this to my wife twice. I said, you remember Pac in that picture before he died, how he didn't look like himself. He looked like sad and down, looked like a puppy. I said, you know Charlie Kirk, and she was busy with the kids. I said, you know Charlie Kirk, right before his death, they asked him a question about trans. And Charlie Kirk said, not enough. And you know what I noticed about the video? How Charlie Kirk's head was down. I watched Steven Crowder, I've watched Charlie Kirk do these debates. So now that I find out that Charlie Kirk had a curse or a hex put on him, Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly told the story about a internet influencer. This is another reason why today I was so frustrated, because there's real people who want to hurt people like me. So there's a Jonah X online personality who went to Pinterest. I didn't even know you could do this, but you can go to Etsy. You can go to Etsy and you can hire someone. And guess what? My wife, last night I told my wife this story. And my wife is white. She's not black. I thought I was being racist. I thought she knew about Wiccan because I dated white women before. I thought she knew about Wiccan. So I'm telling my wife about witches on Etsy and Wiccan and that it's real. Because I know, I told you, I'm whiter than some of the people in this chat. I'm whiter than my wife. My wife grew up in a black neighborhood. She gets on my nerves sometimes. I was like, I'm going to trade you in for a real white girl. I'm telling her about Wiccan and real witches and the religion that exists, that people practice. And I saw her eyes glaze over. And I said, do you know what Wiccan is? She grew up in the hood. She didn't know what Wiccan was. I'm like, wow. That's what's happening with a lot of the conversation that I'm having. They don't know a lot of what I'm saying. So my wife didn't know what Wiccan was. How many people hear about the Charlie Kirk and Megyn Kelly saying Charlie Kirk had a curse put on him and they don't know what Wiccan is? So this online personality went to Etsy, hired a witch who was a real witch. Some of these people have history going back in their lineage of their families of witches. And they follow Wiccan, and their mothers were Wiccan. Not Disney Channel. We're not talking Disney. We're talking about people who believe in things that once were fact. Wicker. Come on. Come on. I'm not talking about Disney. I'm talking about hundreds of years ago, these things were Bible. And the books and the practices still exist. And these white women delve into this stuff and believe it and practice it. And you can go to Etsy and hire a witch. This is let me bring this up because y'all gonna think I'm lying. I did my research. I might have closed it down. I think I closed it down. You can go to Etsy and you can hire a witch to put a curse on somebody. You can pay $10 for a curse. You can pay $50 for a harmful curse. Charlie Kirk had a curse put on him. Multiple curse. Charlie Kirk had a curse put on him by a person who professional Wiccan, a professional Wicker. Like, I have to qualify this with the intelligent people. Like, you can, and I'm not talking about Disney. Look up Wiccan, look up Wicker. These are real people following ancient practices, ancient books, ancient rituals, using them in modern day and ages. This is not a joke. It's just called Wiccan. That's a new term. It wasn't just called Wiccan. That's a new term. No, Kevin, I'm not joking, Kevin. This ain't the time for trolling. Do not troll this topic because they are listening to you. Do not troll this topic. They are listening to you. Just go to Etsy and read about it. Read about Wiccan, read about Wicker. Understand this is a religion that is recognized. Do you understand they have religions? Like Luciferianism and Satanism. Do you guys know Satanism? There are real satanic churches. There are not enough intelligent people in our country. There are too many idiots and trolls and wannabe comedians. Do you know that Satanism is when I talk to you about religious freedom, I don't think people actually listen. When I talk to you about religious freedom, I don't think you people actually listen. When I say religious freedom, I mean religious freedom. I mean, you could be a Satanist in America, and we have Satanists, and we have satanic churches in America. Forever, for a long time. It's not new. It's not new. So when I am saying to you and you want to troll, when I'm talking about Wiccan and Wicker, I'm talking about a religion, brother. I'm not talking about Disney. I'm talking about you need to grow up. I'm talking about you need to grow up and come into the real world. I'm talking about you need to go in your phone book, go on your Apple iPhone and find out how many satanic churches are in your city right now. And so you can be in the real world. You need to stop with the jokes. You need to go into your cell phone right now and see how many, and they are 504c and they get government and tax money and they are recognized by the American government because we can have freedom of religion. You need to go on your phone right now and find out how many satanic churches are in your city and stop being a dickhead in my chat. Thank you. There are also religions like, thank you. Thank you. Religious freedom is across the board. It doesn't just mean you get to believe in the good. In America, you get to believe in the bad. It's your religious right. There's not these women on Etsy who are Wiccan and Wicker and witches. I am trying to give them a level of respect. And I don't think you're doing that in the chat. You're joking. You need to show some respect, right? You wouldn't joke about satanic stuff because you wouldn't want the devil to show up. You make these jokes, make a satanic joke. Make a joke. I don't think you will. I don't think you will. I don't think you will. I need you to understand and respect and recognize when I talk about Wiccan and Wickard, I'm talking about a religion that is recognized by the American government, right? So when I did my research, you can go to Etsy and you can hire a witch who is a Wiccan, follows a religion like a Satanist. Like you can go to a satanic church in a seance. You can go to Etsy and hire a witch who is a Wiccan religion. You need to respect that. And when they say they will put a curse, they're not going to do any hocus pocus. They are going into religious books, ancient religious books, like Satanism has books that you don't know about because you don't follow it. Ancient books, ancient rituals. These things are real. I don't even know why I let people get me on a tangent. I need to hang up. I'm about to close this down. I brought this up to share with you that Tupac had his head down. Charlie Kirk, before he got killed.
They said it would be too hard to.
In that last question, Charlie Kirk had his head down. And that was not typical. I'm trying to find a video, but I can't find the video. That wasn't atypical of Charlie. They asked the question, and Charlie said, not enough. And his head went down, and it went back up, and he appeared to be depressed or not in the moment. And I couldn't figure out at the time, why was Charlie so depressed and not in the moment, right? And it was because that curse, something was weighing on Charlie. Something was weighing on Charlie. The way after he answers the question, he puts his hands down, and this is not atypical. I didn't know about the curse. When I talked to my wife, I was like, this is not atypical. Charlie answers the question. He puts his mic and his head down. And I'm like, this is not atypical of Charlie. Look at the aftermath of what's going on. Single bullet. Look at the aftermath of what's going on. So I said to my wife, before I knew about the curse, it just made me think about Pop. And I said, something was going on. Charlie wasn't himself. He normally is engaged, smiling, excited. You know, why was Charlie down? Why was Charlie down? He didn't look his normal self. You see? To me, the way he's sitting, the way he's crouched was not typical. The way he's sitting, the way he's crouched is not typical, not to me. It just don't seem, look. He didn't seem into it like he normally was, man. And there's another video that captures that scene from the side, and he's like this. And I said to my wife, those of us who believes in spirits and principalities, I said to my wife, it looked like it's something sitting on him. If you see Charlie right, look at this right here. If you see Charlie from the side, I said to my wife, it looked like, if you can see angels, if you can see spirits, I said to my wife, it looked like something is sitting on Charlie. A spirit, an angel, a devil. It looked like there was weight. It looked as something heavy was on him. If you see this video from the side, you'll see Charlie hunched over, but hunched over as if there's a heavy weight on his shoulders and his back. Right here, he's hunched over. And I said to my wife, it looked like Charlie is under some weight. I said to my wife, it looked like Charlie, it looked like something's on top of him. Not something you can see, but something like spiritual. The same feeling I get the same feeling when I look at this photo. I get the same feeling when I look at this photo. I didn't know about the hex. I didn't know about Charlie Kirk calling a Catholic priest. I just watched the Charlie Kirk video and I saw his reaction to the crowd. I saw him lean down and I saw him look like, have you guys ever noticed someone walking and it looked like something was heavy? And I'm 50 years old. There used to be a colloquialism where we used to say, man, that's heavy. We used to say that to our friends when something serious happened. He said, lay it on me, man. Lay it on me, Jack. And he'd be like, that's heavy. So, because it was weight. Some things in life like feel like pressure. When you feel like, when you get some bad news, it seems to weigh you down, right? When I look at Tupac was always lively, animated, up. Right before his death, that was Pac. Pac never looked like that. Right before his death, that was Pac. Something was plaguing him. Something was going on that we didn't know about. Look at this. Look at this. Something was plaguing him. Now look at Charlie. Look at this. That's not the normal Pac. Now look at Charlie slumped over. It wasn't the question. It wasn't the crowd. Something deeper is going on with Charlie here. That was the last thing I would thank you for your prayers. That was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I was wondering if God, Jesus is true, then we don't believe in it, then they choose to believe in evil, but why exactly? Why they believe in bad, but don't want to believe in the good? That's an excellent observation. He's pretty serious when debating and answering questions. He's always picks the mic up and sets it down like that. True. But the way he's seated, and I don't have the video, but I watch him a lot. Like all the debates, when you see him debating somebody black, all the ones where black people say he's racist, he's not like that. Jeff, when you got all the black people who calling Charlie Kirk is racist, Charlie Kirk is up, he's engaged, he gives them eye contact. He's very respectful when he debates blacks. Have you ever noticed that? People say he's racist, but he always gives them the voice, he gives them a stage, he lets them talk. He's not like that. I've seen him in debates. Steven Crowder, this is not the style. The style comes from Steven Crowder. I don't know if you're just trying to be contentious or you're trying to purposely miss my point, but I actually watch Charlie Kirk. I don't know if you're trying to infer I'm black, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but I watch him. It's not about the microphone. I'm not talking about them. Look at how he's hunched over. I said this before I knew about the curse. I said this before I knew about the curse. He's not standing up. He's not, when he answers this question, this whole posture, his posture is off. His posture is off. And it's because, like, if I was his dad, I would call him and be like, son, what's wrong? I think you're being facetious. That's a fake smile. The way he bent down and answered the question. Nah, man. He was dealing with something. And that's before I found out about the curse. He was dealing with something. It was something weighing him down. That's the last thing I want to mention. God bless Charlie Kirk. God bless the chat. God bless President. Why is it a fake smile? I think because the question was disingenuous. It was a smirk. Just like you being disingenuous, asking bullshit questions. This is what young people do with this fake, stupid way of debating that because you didn't go to school and you don't know how to read. Figure it out yourself, you piece of shit. It was a smirk. I'm not insulting Charlie. You trying to take everything out of context because you're a piece of shit. I meant what I said, you piece of shit. Jeff Goldblum, you piece of shit. With that fake name, block him because Jeff Goldblum is an actor. That's a piece of shit. That's a piece of shit right there. It was a smirk. You know what a smirk is? Because just like you are being a piece of shit, he smirked at that question. Because this asshole asked me a dumb question. So he smirked to his left and he looked at the crowd like, did you hear this shit? He looked at the crowd, but he was slumped over. He was slumped. No, it's not getting to me. He was slumped over. And he looked at him. He looked to the left with disdain, right? He looked to the left with disdain. And then he looked back at the crowd with a smirk. Like, did you hear this idiot? It was a fake smile, a smirk. I meant what I said. And he was smirking because the question was asinine. And when he dropped that mic, it was dropped in frustration. You full of shit. You don't watch Charlie Kirk. And you are missing the mannerisms. He smirked and he was frustrated with the question and he dropped the mic and his shoulders dropped. Like, you know, like a kid, he dropped the mic and his shoulders dropped. And then he smirked at the crowd like, what did this idiot say? You're missing all of that because you want to be a piece of shit troll. I like that. I like that. That's a good last word, Jedediah. That's a good last word. But you know what else, Jedediah? Because I grew up, you know what get left out? That's a powerful statement, right? It sound good. I think we're past the sound good, feel good. Do you know you got to pick up a sword sometime? In the Bible, you have to pick up a sword. Jesus had to pick up a bone. Like, I think we're past the sound good and feel good. And when I realize in my chat that people don't even know, honestly, about the dark forces, people like me and you better be prepared. We got to understand sometimes that Christ has knights and soldiers. We are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to die. We have to hold up the bloodstained banner. We have to hold it up until we die. We are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to die. We have to hold up the bloodstained banner. We have to hold it up until we die.